All right, I think I'm live. Whoops. Welcome to the stream, South to West. Scott, Corn Dog, Dave's channel. It's me. What a cavalcade we've already got in here. Welcome to the stream. What's up, Eddie? Today we are going to take a journey through life and divorce. This channel is called David's Journey. That's the handle, I guess, is David's Journey. 34 subscribers. He's got 60 videos. They're predominantly shorts, though. So, 34 subscribers. This is some pretty fresh Boyd, I think. Yeah, don't forget the disclaimer. Absolutely. So, I have no idea what this is. I watched it just enough to grab a to grab a thumbnail. So, I'm going in completely blind on this. But it looks like this guy takes us through like his entire divorce from what I can see. I want to say he hasn't posted any videos for maybe a couple years, but we'll have to get in closer. But this will probably be a two-part stream because there's a bunch of content. But here's the first video of David's journey through life and divorce. This video is called Introduction.
I want to start this video by just talking about why I'm doing this. A couple weeks ago, I was told by my soon-to-be
Hey, Vinny, what's up, man? It's still storming here.
ex-wife that she wanted a divorce. There've been a lot of things going on over the years, but I thought it might help for me to talk about it to everybody out there, and maybe it can help somebody else. I'll talk about what I'm going through at the time, what I've learned by watching videos online, by watching, other people's trials, I guess you would call it. My family, I've talked to my family, I've talked to my friends. A lot of people have gone through this. Half the people out there have likely gone through a divorce, or at least half the marriages, it seems like, fail. You could call it failed. You could call it grown apart, what have you.
Interesting, right out of the gate.
So I'm starting this channel to talk about that, talk about how it's working with me, how I feel, how I believe that she felt, how it might affect family, it might affect friends, how you can work with your friends and family to help you get over the divorce. And I may talk about a little bit of legal stuff, but I'm not into law. I'm learning it just the same as most of you people will be. So let's learn this together.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to do at least 2 or 3 videos a week for now, because I'm kind of in the thick of it. So I don't want to forget what was going on. I want to kind of do it as like a journal. That's part of why I'm doing this. It's sort of a self-therapy, as well as maybe to help people out there that might come into the same situations.
I literally have no idea. He came up in the algorithm. It might have it might have been on stream, but I don't think so. But he came up in the algorithm. I saw that he had like a full journey, and I just immediately was like, this has got to be a deep dive series. So I have no idea. There could be no entertainment here, or it could be completely bananas. We'll have to see.
So I'm going to start with some videos in my little office area here, but eventually I'm going to kind of go out and do some walks and do shorts and things like that, so that it's
We'll cover the shorts in a separate segment.
not just looking at my
Separate
Starry
stream.
Night background here behind me. Oh, that's a shower curtain, by the way, so I like it. So I'm checking my list here. Yeah, I will say that my soon-to-be ex had a lot of mental conditions that we worked
Uh-oh.
through. We were together for quite a while. I'll go over that more in some other videos, but for now I'm going to try to keep this short, since this is sort of my intro. Later today, I will try to do a longer video that
Hey, Izzy, I'm hoping it'll be interesting. I think just so far, I'm seeing many more signs that this will be good rather than boring.
explains where I am in the
What's up, Jeremy?
divorce and in my life in general. And hopefully, you guys will subscribe and like the videos, and I'll get more out there. Feel free to leave comments. I'll talk about anything you guys want to talk about, anybody's feelings. Um, this is going to be for
I'll talk about anybody's feelings. Did he get any takers? Marriage was designed to keep. You can't see it because of the fucking AI, the UI. I mean, marriage was designed to keep men and women together, but it has degraded to the point to where it tears them apart. What was meant to stabilize society is now destabilizing it. Uh-oh, and look at this. I just saw this come up in the algorithm. Oh man, this is. Oh man, I'm seeing a bunch of stuff here. I mentioned trad wives near the end. Week 11. Oh, that looks like it might be like a. Is this a college dorm? Joe? Hold on, let me just.
Teddy Rothke wrote that we think by feeling.
Oh boy.
Hello, my name is Joseph Stanton, and today I'll be talking about inmates on death row and basically
Inmates on death row. Wow, what an assortment we got there.
from a man's perspective, so take that into consideration. But I also understand that women are absolutely 100% free to comment and talk and say how they would feel in this situation. So
Don't worry, women may speak here.
I will hope to see you guys back in some of my new videos. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
You know the drill. All right, here we go. Life up till now. My journey through divorce. This has got 54 views from 11 months ago. So I guess it's maybe a couple months since he posted. Not a couple years. What happened here?
My my journey through life and divorce. So I just want to talk to people, talk to myself, self-therapize. I don't even know if that's a word, but I just want to talk through things. And then right now, this first video is just going to be me telling you about me. It's probably going to be one of the more boring ones, but I'm 46 years old.
Okay.
I've always lived in the same
So me and this guy, I'm the same age as this guy.
5-mile area, small town, maybe 5,000 people. A lot of other small towns nearby, so there's still some people, but it's a pretty limited number of people. I am kind of left leaning politically, which is different than most of the people around me. So it's not easy to find people that you kind of match up with. You'll find people that don't care, or they'll just repeat political crap that they heard their parents say or something like that. So I'm kind of in a weird place. There's not a lot of people that would jive with me, vibe, I guess, they use nowadays, with me politically and the way I think.
You're 47.
Part of that
I
is the
will
way
be
grew
here
up.
shortly.
I grew up. My parents have stayed together. They had problems, but they've been together now for, let me think, I don't know, pushing, I think 40, 50, about 50 years. Yeah. Yeah, because I'm 46. I have an older sister and an older brother, half brother. So my dad was divorced. Almost everybody in my family has been divorced once, at least once. So
This is wild that this is his first video. Like, he's just on here telling all of his business.
fairly common. I thought
Jeez.
I was going to get past it. I was engaged at one point to someone, and she cheated on me and
Oh.
left.
Oh no. Oh no.
And I lost a friend who was the person that she had cheated with, and she engaged it. I was engaged at one point to someone, and she cheated on me and left, and I lost a friend who was the person that she had cheated with,
Oh
and
no.
her, and that sucked. But I mean, we had been together for 3 years, no kids, nothing like that, so it wasn't a big deal. So 2 3 years after that, I met my current, technically still current wife. We were married. She was only about 18
Technically current.
when we got married, and I was pushing 27. It may have been 27, but on average, we're about 9 years apart. So that could have been the start. We're about pushing. My so 2 3 years after that, I met my current, technically still current wife. We were married. She was only about 18 when we got married, and I was pushing 27.
Wow, so he married a fresh 18-year-old and the marriage didn't work?
It may have been 27, but on average, we're about 9 years apart. So that could have been the start to my mistakes, our mistakes in
What
our
do you
marriage.
think?
But we had a pretty good time. She had a son at the time we met. He was 5 months old.
I'm not judging him. I mean, 18's legal pretty much I think everywhere in the United States 18 is probably legal, but the idea that kind of an age gap, you would have to be like, I don't know how the compatibility odds would be pretty low, I would think.
I ended up raising him as if he was my own. His dad saw him once in a while, not that often. He was in the military, so I'll give him that. He tried, but
Gross.
so yeah, she was young. We ended up marrying about a year and a half later. So she was only 19. I was 27. Her parents didn't love that idea, but I was a pretty decent guy as far as they could tell. um, so we got married, and then 3 years later, it got to the point where I was dreading going home from work because I didn't know who I was going to see that night. Was this person going to be mad before I even got home? Was this person going to be depressed before I got home? Was it going to be a fight? Was it going to be a
Okay.
fight with the
Again, I'm not judging the guy for marrying a 19-year-old, whatever, that's legal. But again, it comes back to me to like, it seems like he went into this with completely no idea what to expect when you kind of have to expect people to act their age to an extent, I think. Do you think he was just overwhelmed?
our son to eat his vegetables? You know what I mean? It was just like, So she left. She
No,
I'm not
he said he was left leaning, but insinuated that like other people on the left, like left leaning people, wouldn't agree with him.
not going to go through everything that happened. Bad things happened. We split apart. She left. I still loved her, still do to this day. Um, I actually kind of helped her move stuff out, which was weird. Like looking back now, I feel like I was being walked on. Maybe I don't know.
Oh,
I was just in love. I felt I loved her. So she went out. She did a lot of young wild stuff. That I don't think she thought she could do when we were married. I think that was
that's the thing. Marrying that young, you're missing out on certain experiences, and for a lot of people, like those that like I don't know, like the wanting to party and wanting to act wild, like that's not going to go away. If anything, it'll like compound. That's why even the Amish have Rumspringa.
part of the whole got married too early thing. So she split off. She contacted me a little, during the divorce. There were some long hugs and things like that, and in the middle of the night, you sleep well, kind of thing. That was a code kind of between us for I love you without actually saying it, which that may happen in your marriage and your
Hold on, so I got to hear that
divorce.
again so I understand what he
Between
said.
us night during the divorce, there were some long hugs and things like that, and
So they had some long hugs.
in the middle of the night, you sleep well, kind of thing. That was a code kind of between us for, I love you without actually saying it. Which that may happen in your marriage and your divorce. It may happen. It may mean nothing, but chances are, if somebody's texting you in the middle of the night, they miss you, and there's a reason. That doesn't mean you're going to get back together, but it means that they're thinking about you. So it's nice, but it's all
Okay, good. So he's not reading into it like it's going to lead to a reconciliation. It doesn't sound
also
like
bad
that's good.
because you're probably not going to get back together, But everybody is different. Every group is different. Every culture is different. Everybody's different. Doesn't matter. So anyway, she allowed me to still see my stepson while we were separated. She had no reason to. There was no support. He wasn't mine. But I still got to see him a lot, which was really nice. Anyway, 3 years later, we ended up getting back together. There's a lot of circumstances, but we ended up getting back together. We ended up getting married again. She got diagnosed with bipolar 2, clinical depression, and there's some other stuff. I'll go over that in another video later, but it was just a lot. And she was apologetic. She loved me. She missed me. And we got back together, and, lo and behold, 15 years. It was 15 years until 2 weeks ago. And we'd had problems over time here and there. She'd be sad, and there were a lot of things that we had to deal with.
Hey, what's up, Paro?
A lot of things that I had to learn. I had to, learn and grow. She learned and growed. There were down times. There were good times. There were bad times. But there was never, at least in my heart, there was never hate. There was never, I never yelled at her. And she probably, I can't think of any big times where we screamed at each other. It was never like that. We both held a lot in, and I think that might have been some of the communication problems. That'll be a video.
What's that shirt say?
That's about all I can say about my life up to 2 weeks ago, when she started acting odd. And there's a lot that's happened over the last year. She last year tried to commit suicide, which she had done before, but a long time ago.
Oh my God.
She had been into the hospital. I don't want to say mental hospital, but psychiatric facilities.
Just say it like Vince McMahon, medical facility.
For weeks. And they worked with her, and she
No,
put
it
herself
doesn't,
in those.
Dave.
She asked me to take her because she felt like she wanted to commit suicide. Now, in my head, and in anybody's head, you're gonna feel like, well,
Synchronicity that I thought that I have the pink drink and he's got all these pink shirts.
that she feels like that. It's not. It's never gonna be. It's not your fault. It's something. I would suggest some books. Stop Walking on Eggshells and I Hate You, Don't Leave Me. I'll go over those later. How I felt about them. Another video.
Right? Isn't this wild? I was hoping it would be like, that it wouldn't be like performative, and I don't think it is. This seems very extremely personal.
They both focus on borderline personality disorder, which she's also been
BPD.
diagnosed with.
Shout out
one doctor
Methadone.
years ago thought that she might have it, but didn't give an official diagnosis. A recent doctor in the last 6 months or so did diagnose her with that. So I'll be straight honest with you. I feel like she is in the middle. She's in an episode, or has been in an episode, in the last 6 months, and I feel like this may not be what she wants, but it may be. I just don't know. We may have just grown apart. And there's nothing.
So he's saying that he felt like the things escalated negatively recently, which it seems like he's trying to kind of perhaps explain away by saying, well, it's because of her bipolar or her BPD. I don't know about that. I guess if there really weren't, I don't know. It's hard to tell, but if they really weren't any problems, and then all of a sudden there are these problems and she's in an episode, but
Nothing you can do about that. It
could be a
sucks.
cope
It's
too.
one of the worst feelings, but at least you kind of know that it's not just you being not enough. I mean, it still feels like I'm not enough because, well, we both grew, and now I'm not what you want anymore. And that's just that doesn't help, right? That doesn't make you feel any better. It still sucks. Um, but like I said, I still have about this much hope. Over the last couple of weeks, we've had to deal with some. We tried to go through custody stuff for our 11-year-old son, um, and I ended up having to bring up the mental health stuff, and that immediately set her off. That set her off to the point where she didn't yell or anything like that. She just didn't email me back as far as our back and forth on the custody. So I thought, well, maybe she's just thinking about it. Maybe she wants to talk to him first, because he's with me right now for a week. We're going to swap back and forth him weekly for now until we get something worked out. So, but I think that really upset her, and I knew it would, but I had to bring it up because if it goes to court, then that is 100% one of the major factors that's going to come into play. Her not being able to work very well, very often, very steadily for the last 15 years, and the recent suicide attempt and hospitalizations. That's going to be major factors. So a couple of days ago when we talked, she said that she was definitely going to have to take it to court to go to lawyers. She asked me who my lawyer was. I said, I don't have one yet. I've talked to one. I have not locked him in yet because I didn't know if I needed one. There was no sense dropping thousands of dollars if you didn't even know if you needed a lawyer
I hope he didn't hire Lalo.
yet. So I hadn't yet. I do have a guy, and I'll probably have to talk to him. But right now, I'm just waiting to see if the papers come in the mail. And it sucks. I told her when this first started, I said, and I've said a couple times, I said, look, until the papers are signed, the final papers are signed, I'm still here. I still love you, and we can work it out, no matter what happens between now and then. But I think with the custody thing and the me having to bring up the mental health considered in the custody arrangements, that may have built a wall between us that we may never be able to, go over again. We may be friendly enough, but it's just, I don't know. There's no way I can know what she's going to feel like. So, like I said, right now, still some hope that I can have my wife back, that we can go to therapy. We had been going to therapy. So it kind of stopped, I guess, recently. I've actually continued the therapy with the therapist because she kind of knew some of our problems. So she's helping work through that. And now she's switching to working through my problems with me. She brought up some hard truths
Maybe it's the
about,
light,
what I was doing and what I was kind of allowing in the marriage.
or maybe it's grade.
Things came up like, maybe I was being held emotionally hostage, or I was lighting myself on fire to keep her warm, that kind of thing. And that's something I want to bring up in another video as well and talk more about. I have another appointment with her in a couple of weeks, so there'll be more of that, I'm sure. But right now, I want to talk more about what I want to do with these videos. I want to talk about things that I'm doing to just make it okay, like
Oh,
make
shoot, I'll be
my
right back.
world okay. Because right now I feel like I got shit. I got nothing. Pardon my language. YouTube. I feel like I have nothing. I mean, I have the house, it's not paid off, but there's a chunk, I'm going to lose almost all the retirement that I've built up in the last, 15 to 20 years because I'm going to have to pay her half of everything, which is going to be part of the equity in the house. Well, guess what? Like everybody else in the United States right now, the equity in most houses just went crazy high. So somehow we just gained almost $100,000 equity. So now I got to come up with $50-some thousand on top of half of my my Roth that I had separate, and then a 401k that I've been still working on. So after I pay that from the 401k, then I'm going to be left with almost nothing except for the house, which is not nothing, but it just feels like nothing. Right now in my checking account, I have about $100 and about $350 in my savings, which is a horrible, horrible way to be when everything was going great 6 months ago, and she was working, and it was the best job she'd had in her whole life, and she's still doing it, and that's great. I'm happy for her. It's a hard job because she works with kids with mental issues, and that kind of triggers her sometimes. But
What?
it's still a good job. She wants to try to be a therapist, she said. She brought that up the other day to me as we were talking about the divorce, which I think it may have been one of those things where she thought that I wouldn't help her do that. Like, I wouldn't be helping her be a therapist. Like why wouldn't I do that? I've supported her for 20 years almost without no burden. It's not a burden. You know what I mean? You're not a burden until you make it that. And she hadn't been, so it was. That'll be another video as well.
He's got a lot of
Anyway,
ideas.
This is getting long, so I want to just go over the next video. Is just going to be over divorce in general, and it sucks. And what I'm seeing, the first one that I went through it sucked, but it wasn't nothing like 20 years later, you know. So that'll be the next video, probably in the next couple of days. Then I want to go over things that I feel like I did wrong in the relationship, or
No way. Wow. Solo struggle sessions.
that I could have done better. Wrong is highly variable. Not variable, but eye of the beholder. You know what I mean? It may not have been wrong to me. It was wrong to her. Something may be taken out of context. Something may have been taken the wrong way. Bad jokes, lots of things. All that'll
Bad
be another
jokes.
one. And then I want to go over things in that same video, things that I think I did really well, and things that will, I think, continue to make me a good person in life and a really good husband if I'm ever lucky enough to find someone again or get back with my wife by some chance. So that'll be the end of this video. I think maybe I'm getting better at talking to the camera. I'm sure I'll
Absolutely.
get better every time. I have a nice gimbal coming, and I had my little microphone come in the mail today, so I'm going to go
I
out
noticed that.
and do walks and things like chopping wood while I'm talking, stuff like that. Like, I don't know, just stuff. Like,
Adventurous, far-fetched activities.
I have to do things. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll walk around the house cleaning. I'll be honest with you. There was a lot of stuff that needed cleaning that we didn't get done. I'll talk about that in another video as well. Anyway, hey, this is a long video, so have a good day, guys.
Interesting. Divorce when you don't want it.
Hey, everybody. So I'm going to talk about divorce when you don't want it. It sucks. It's getting hit by a truck. It feels like getting hit by a truck. Shuts down your nervous system sometimes. Feels like it does. I'm getting overboard, but you'll understand what I mean in a minute. You need to support
What's up,
yourself.
Cody Turbo?
I know it feels like right at first, it just feels like you've been betrayed. It feels like your life's over. It feels like some people may want to think about suicide. They feel like their life, just don't, man.
Wow.
Don't do it. Do not do it. It'll get better. No matter how bad it is, it'll get better. You will be able to be alone by yourself, and you'll get better, and you're going to need to use support for that. Many people can do it by themselves. More power to you.
The bathroom
Most
again.
of us are going to need. We're going to need help. You need to find those friends that you know that you kind of maybe gave up on over the years that you feel like you couldn't.
So
couldn't
basically, he's saying if you're going through a divorce and you're alone, reach out to some of those people who weren't good enough to be a part of your life when you had a partner. Well, listen, I don't have anybody to talk to. You want to you want to hang out?
They were busy, you know. You've got kids, they've got kids. Oh, they moved a town away. You know, you get busy. It happens. I get it. find those people, man. Find your family. If you don't, talk to people that are acquaintances. There may be people that you know at work that you barely know, and you sit and strike up a conversation with them, and they're probably going to smile and start a conversation back, you know? But anyway,
Getting it off his chest to 9 strangers.
I want to talk about some of the stuff that your significant other or soon to be ex significant other may have said, reasons behind it. The most common ones are we grew apart, or we grew, I grew and you didn't. It's never going to be you grew and I just wanted to stay still. That's never. I guarantee you that's never going to come out of somebody's mouth. If it does, then they probably need some serious counseling and therapy, and you can help them to get that, regardless of whether you're together or not. They may come up with a different reason from day to day for a few weeks to even years after your divorce happens. That reasons why they needed to do it, why they thought you would have done it, why it wouldn't have worked anyway. You know, they're going to come up with lots of reasons. They may question your love for them, no matter what you've done. You know, no cheating, no nothing. You've always been there. Yeah, you're not a perfect person, but you know, you've never gave them
What do you mean, Cody Turbo? He's just a dude doing the best he can,
any reason to question that you're
sitting
gonna
in
be
front
there
of a
with them
shower
forever.
curtain.
And they still question it, and that can be some issues that can be worked out in therapy. Sometimes it can't. Sometimes people will just use that to get out of a relationship they're just tired of, and that sucks to hear. Believe me, it sucks to hear. But you need, regardless of what your circumstances were, you may still feel like there's a chance. I'm in the position right now where I still feel like there's a chance, a very small chance. She has told me specifically, this is happening. I'm sorry it hurts you, but we need to move on. And we
Wait a second. Okay, if she's telling him this, where is the hope coming in at? I don't get it. That's pretty clear communication, unless there's a but at the end of it.
need to try to do this amicably. Sorry it hurt. Chance. Circumstances were, you may still feel like there's a chance. I'm in the position right now where I still feel like there's a chance, a very small chance. She has told me specifically, this is happening. I'm sorry it hurts you, but we need to move on and we need to try to do this amicably. And that sucks and that hurts. And even after that, you know, you might feel like, I need to.
What is going on with this guy? Hey, Matt, what's up? Like, sounds like she's being very direct. I kind of thought maybe there would be mixed signals, but that sounds very direct and very final. Like, this is happening. I'm sorry, but you have to grow, let's be amicable about it.
I need to try. I need to show her that I want to try, you know. But you can get stuck in a loop there, depending if they really want out or if they may have issues that aren't handled. You may be stuck in a, if I try too hard, it's just going to push her away. Or in the other direction, if I don't try, she's going to think I don't care. It's a no-win situation. It really is. And
Well, I mean, I hope this doesn't sound callous, but he's been with her since he was 27, and he's 46 now, he said. So almost 20 years. Wouldn't you know by then? Like, this is how this person that I've been with for 20 years, how they respond to one versus the other. Like, shouldn't you kind of have that figured out in your partner after you've been together for 20 years, like how to talk to them?
that's what I feel like I'm in. That's fine. Sucks. But I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep moving because I don't want too long of a video because people probably already stopped watching it. But that's all right. If you want to listen to me, you can listen to me. I'm going to do more videos. I'm going to try to do some shorts. I may pull some shorts out of this video. Shorts. Just kidding. But yeah, what you need to do short term, this is really hard. It's been a couple of weeks for me since I was told that my wife wanted a divorce. it's been a couple weeks, and you gotta find people to talk to. You've got to talk to your family, anybody, man. Just I know.
But and I agree with him. However, you should have those kind of supports in place when you're not going through a crisis. Like you should build that if you're able to build that support system before you need it, and that way it doesn't just look like, oh, I'm calling on your services because I'm in a desperate situation. You know what I mean? I feel like trying to form those bonds while you're going through something like this is kind of running it on hard mode.
At first, especially, you're going to want to just tell them, "Oh, I think she'll come back." All the reasons why you think she left, all the reasons why, you know what I mean? You're going to come up with excuses, and you're going to come up with all these reasons, and you're going to tell one person in the family, and then you're going to go tell another person in the family, you're going to tell another friend, and they're all going to have ideas. They're all going to have reasons. Well, you're better off without. Um, you should stop fighting. You should try still harder. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to have ideas, and
It's kind of like a pre-bus McHenry, I feel like, maybe.
it doesn't matter what their ideas are. You need to come up with your own plan, but what you need to remember is
But also,
those
like, I recognize that that's very difficult for some, especially for some people to do, to build those kind of bonds.
people that are giving you ideas are trying to help. You know, in their own way, they're trying to help. They want you to feel better. That means they care about you. That means all these people that have ideas and reasons, even people that you just may be acquaintances with, they care. They do care. They want you to be stable. They want you to be happy.
No
And they
one
may not
wants
even
to hear
tell
any
you.
of it.
You know what I mean? People are pretty good usually. You can take
What was their advice, Matt?
walks at lunch. I take walks at lunch. I'll stop and talk to somebody that's just doing something in their yard. I did that just yesterday. Talked to a guy that was doing some woodworking in his driveway, and I had a 5-minute conversation
Savvy guy's advice on dating is to find a 304, wife her up, be the man in her life and in her kid's life.
with him, and I could feel that he and I both had like a little bit of a connection, not a massive connection. I don't even know his name, but I know where he lives. I know he sells wood slabs and things. If you're into that, it's really cool. I might have to buy some off of him and make some things like a table or something like that.
What?
Really cool. But we had a connection, and that gave me confidence. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to hook up with him. It doesn't give me confidence with women. It gives me confidence in life.
What?
There is something other than it doesn't give confidence. Something like that. Really cool. I might have to buy some off of this. I know he sells wood slabs and things. If you're into that, it's really cool. I might have to buy some off of him and make some things like a table or something like that. Really cool. But we had a connection, and that gave me confidence. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to hook up with him. It doesn't give me confidence with women. It gives me confidence in life that there is something other than the relationship that I had.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Leonard Lake and what's his name? Charles Ing.
I can have other relationships. They can be friendships. They can be real relationships
Is Ben back on the fucking Leonard Lake shit? Oh no.
with women or men. Whoever's listening to this, whatever you like, men, women, in between. I don't care. Have at it.
I'll be real. I think this is very McHenry coded.
Uh, but talk to people. Talk to people at the grocery store. Go to the gym. That's huge. Go to the gym. If you can't go to the gym, I get it. Small towns sometimes don't have one. I'm lucky. I live in a small town. We have a really nice gym. Really cool. Some rich people donated it years and years ago. It's really nice of them. It's great. I think it's helped out the town. But I digress. If you can't go to a gym, just walk. I've heard other
What about a debate where he could have a conversation with Ben about going through a divorce?
people online talk about it. Walk 4 or 5 miles a day. Doesn't matter if you have to do a little bit in the morning, a little bit at night. But I tell you what, the worst times that I had were in the mornings at 4:30 or 5:30 in the morning, and I woke up thinking of my ex and what is she doing? Who's she doing it with? That sucks. I started getting up, just putting some quick clothes on, going out for walks or even jogs. I jog, so I can do that. But if you're
So he's waking up in a cold sweat, feeling like thinking about where his wife is and who she's with and what they're doing to her. So he gets so pent up he's got to go outside and like hate run to get it out of his mind.
not ready for that, just take walks, do something. Because that builds up that serotonin. It gives us something to do. Make sure take your phone or something with you. Don't just sit there with your own thoughts, because you will drive yourself nuts even if you're out walking. But listen to videos. Listen to my videos, on YouTube. Listen to music, things like that. But you got to keep busy. Got to connect with those friends and family.
Go over
It
to
will
her
help you. I
house.
guarantee it. If you don't have a lot of friends and family around, you may have moved away. There are people that'll talk with you. You could talk to people at work, and some of them might have, hey, yeah, we're doing something after work. Come hang out with us.
Okay, first of all, I guess the only point I have is there a worse idea than trauma dumping on your coworkers about like intensely personal stuff? I can't think of a worse thing, like a worse place to do it.
Do that. Find things
At
you
least if you do it on YouTube, there's a chance no one will see it. But if you're telling your coworkers, everyone in your place of employment's going to know, like, by the end of the day.
can do around your house to clean up. I've been cleaning like there is no tomorrow. I'm planning things to repair.
Better a hate run than a murder charge? Absolutely, Matt.
There's a lot to plan in a divorce too, and a lot of people don't want to do that. But it can help. It can help just planning, okay, what do I have to do now that it's just me? And that sucks, believe me. But for some people, especially a lot of men with analytical minds, it helps just to be thinking of something, to plan something. Like everything that I used to have planned is now shot to hell. Gone.
He's like, listen, I married a 19-year-old trophy wife, and she was mentally unstable and immature. Like, who could guess? You have to like that kind of thing, I think, to marry a girl that young. Like, you got to know that it's going to be like a culture shock generationally, even at 9 years.
Right? That's gone. Most of it. You may have kids, and you may still have a plan for them. But all those plans have to be adjusted. You know what? It sucks, but
My favorite trauma dump is Ben Thorpe when I think they were checking out of a hotel or something, and he just trauma dumped all about his life to whoever was working at the register
use that planning
or working at like the
to
desk.
keep your mind busy. That will help. Okay, this is getting long, so I'm going to cut this video short. I'm going to try to do another video every couple of days, maybe do some small shorts. I know I mentioned that earlier. I appreciate you guys listening to me. I'm going to try to kind of balance this channel between helping other people and telling you what's going on in my life as I go through
Helping other people.
Obviously, if you have any questions, let me know.
I don't understand. He's going through a divorce. How is he going to help? I understand, like, if he's helping by telling his story, but how can I don't understand how he can, because he's really not into the divorce yet. He's waiting on the papers. But, like, how's he going to give advice to people?
In the comments, please like and subscribe if you want. I'm not trying to make money off this, but if sometime down the road I did, it wouldn't hurt my feelings, I got kids to raise, and I got myself to raise. So, like and subscribe.
We'll get Daniel Stern to play this guy in the Lifetime movie.
If you can, if you want to hear more, ask me what you would like to, ask me any questions you want. I'll try to answer them. I'm not going to
Some small shorts.
I'm not going to get into too much detail about my personal stuff because
What do
haven't
you
had
mean you're not going to get into too much detail about your personal stuff?
court yet. So nix that. I can answer that in a private conversation, but not going to do it in comment.
What? Now you can have a private he'll tell you stuff about his marriage off camera? That's even scarier.
So don't even bother. I've mentioned again, I am in therapy still, and I will continue to do that probably for years, because I would suggest anybody to do that. To help
I'm
you
not sure. God damn it. Sorry about that.
get through, the coming hard times. So do that. Listen to me. That'd be great. And ask me any questions you want. Comment if you want to hear about specific things. If you'd like to hear me talk about specific things in my life, how I feel about certain things.
That's what I was thinking, is that there was a stepson. That's the only thing I could think of.
I'd be happy to talk about them. All right, everybody have a great day. I know it's rough. Chances are you're watching this because exactly things are getting rough and you're looking for answers. So I'll keep talking as
What?
long as you listen. Have a good day.
Wow. Gaslighting. Was I guilty of it? Oh boy. Good shit ahead. All right, here we go. Divorce. He's now remember he did say he's not going to get personal. He's not going to get too personal about it. Divorce. Things I did right, wrong, and things I could have done better in my relationship. Ooh, this is a nice outdoor vlog.
Hey everybody, this is my latest video. It's a nice, beautiful Sunday morning, so I thought I'd do it out on the porch using my phone instead of my office. This video is about, sorry, I'm going to be looking down a little bit. Since I'm outside, I wrote some notes down here. So, things I did wrong, or things I could have done better, and things that I know I did well in my marriage before divorce. It's been about 3 weeks now. The number one thing, man, it's to know what you did wrong. A lot of times you're just guessing. You can't know what's in somebody else's head. It could be that you were a terrible person. You know what I mean? It's possible, but honestly, you should know that. I think the vast majority of guys out there that are in my position anyway, and they're
I don't think I've heard of that, Matt.
And willing to, self-reflect, are probably not bad people. They're probably people just like me that got the short end of the stick. You know, if you love your wife and she left you, that sucks. But again, this is for women as well. It can go either way. So what I'm saying is you're just guessing. You can guess all day about shit that you did wrong.
All right.
And maybe you're right in some situations, but chances are you're just there's no point. It's over. It's past. If she's not even willing to talk about the things
The wife took his shower curtain. Oh no.
you may have done wrong, then chances are it's not you. Well, it's one of two things. It's either not your issues, or she loves you enough still that she doesn't want to hurt you, but she still
He's in a porch swing.
wants to leave, which just means it's not your fault. It happens, man.
I like this outdoor, but the fact that he's in a porch swing, I think he should put on at least somewhat of a southern accent, because it kind of looks like he's on like a big southern plantation.
Talks. So, okay, the second thing is, in my situation, I was 27 and she was 18 when we first got together. Yeah, that very well could be part of the problem. Part of the reason that she's saying she left now is because of we sort of grown differently. And in a way, I feel like that may be sort of a midlife crisis thing. It's she feels like there's something that she's missed, and I understand that. And I came to realization in the last week. You know what? I don't want you to be unhappy. I love her as well, so I don't want her to be unhappy. So I am gonna just let it go. Let her go. Be happy. If she regrets it later,
he met an 18-year-old at the bar.
Can't do anything about it, but I've decided, I have to move on, and I know you guys do too, and it sucks. It's the worst feeling. The hardest part is letting them go, and if they come back, they're yours forever. I don't think she's coming back. And
Didn't they get married, divorced, and then remarried? So like he let her go, she came back, and clearly it wasn't meant to be.
most don't. I think I read 10% of marriages, they get back together. So anyway, things that I feel like I did wrong. I didn't communicate very well. My family was one of those ones. I grew up in the 90s where you just kept things to yourself. And I think that added to my issues of just not wanting to rock the boat. And I think a lot of nice guys have that problem.
Okay, so he's envisioning himself as like a nice guy, the good guy, one of the good guys.
You don't want to upset your wife, so you don't bring things up. Okay, so then later, we got into therapy, and as soon as I started becoming comfortable with speaking my mind, it became a problem. Which, ding, 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 red flag, right? as soon as you have a problem, it's game over. Well, that's a trigger, and I still think that's something I did wrong, and I could have done better. If I would have been and this is for everybody out there, man. All of this stuff is.
Wow,
If
Dave.
you don't talk about the problems that you have, it's going to fester. It's going to become a problem. And I get it, and I'll be the first one to say, sometimes you put them in a box and they go away. It happens. I get it. That's fine. Another thing that I wish I would have done better is better words of encouragement. And sometimes that's hard if you have somebody who's not motivated, whether that be just physical, like their health, or for jobs or something like that. And a lot of times we'll crap on people. Oh, they're useless. A lot of times there's issues. There's mental health issues, and you have to manage that. You have to be okay with that. I'm going to go over that more in another video later. Some of the things
I like that loop of him always saying like he's going to talk about it in an upcoming video.
that I dealt with, and how I dealt with it, and how much each person is able to deal with. So you have to decide that. So words of encouragement. I wish I had done better. Sometimes instead of just, this is partially because of my age.
Well, I'm not going to make that mistake. Chat, I think you're all great people, wonderful people, fine people on all sides of chat. So don't let the lack of words of affirmation bring you down.
Age group and things, and the difference in hers. I would joke about something in a way that was demeaning, and I didn't mean it that way. In my head, it was, if somebody had said it to me, I'd have been like, "Hey, screw you, dude. I'm doing it," and they'd be like, "Yeah, I know."
I think he's kind of McHenry coded.
But that doesn't work for everybody, and we have to realize that. There's my neighbor. Okay. So that's the main two things that I think I did wrong. Honestly,
He's like, yep, he's out there making those, he's out there recording videos.
it's not a big list. Here's what I did. I feel like I did right. Recognition. I recognized that she was trying her best with her mental issues that she had. I recognized that. I recognized the things that she did do. It was like me climbing a mountain, you know. I don't have those issues with depression and things like that.
Married to his work.
Just her doing little things like that is a big deal, and you have to recognize that. And I feel like I did that.
Guys fetishize these manic pixie dream girls. You know, they want the BPD goth girl, or let's be real, the toxic trad girl. But then they don't want to deal with the consequences of, those personality types.
And sometimes they may not feel like it's enough. But with somebody that's got issues like that, there's not a lot you can do about it. You can try to give it more. You do what you can do. But the second,
I am too. What, Eddie?
second thing I think I did, support.
What a nice guy. Self-proclaimed
That is,
nice guy.
Physically, and just a form of long hugs. I was told so many times.
We're back to
that
this again. Is this gonna be one of his terms? Long hugs. What's a long hug?
The only reason that she kept herself alive, that she didn't commit suicide, was because of my long hugs. It helped ground her, and that's a good feeling that you're helping somebody with just being there for them. And then second, the support is, and I try not to bring this up very much, but it's financial. It's helping with insurance. It's helping with stuff around the house when that person is in depression. It's helping with the kids. It's just doing more because you want this person to be happy to get through it, and also supporting them in ways where I was like, hey, come on, you need to get up and do this. It'll make you feel better. You need to get outside, get some of that vitamin D, I believe. It helps your, serotonin or whatever. Okay, another thing that I think
he enjoyed a libertarian marriage until she, was ready to party.
I did right is unconditional love and forgiveness. People do things wrong, and
Oh, thank you, Eddie.
if their will is not in the relationship to forgive for small things or even some big things, it depends on each person, then it's not going to work. It's not. I did a lot of things that would be considered, simp or whatever the word is nowadays. Like,
Oh, there we go. Okay.
you're a fool. You just got suckered, and I didn't feel that way. Unfaithfulness, money things, issues like that.
Unfaithfulness. So she was cheating. There were some discrepancies with the finances. These are not good signs.
Talking to people that probably shouldn't have been talking to, that sort of thing, and I forgave it and dealt with it. I forgave a lot of the
Hey, Media Hits Maxer.
a lot of
ATF isn't here, and I bet you he avoided it because it's Boyd, but I bet you if he was in here, he would love this shit.
things, and it was unconditional, and I never at any point, except for toward the very end, and that was a very specific issue, I never brought up the idea of leaving her. Everything that I had planned was for us forever, retirement and everything. It was for us, period. And but in her mind, it was still like I was ready to abandon her, which it's not real. It's just not, and there's nothing you can do about that with some people. I was always faithful. This is my last thing on my list. The things that I did right. I never thought about getting with another woman or man. Didn't matter. It was just off the table. To me, that's one of those things that is not an option. Like once if you're not happy with being with the person that you're with, don't be with them. It's not fair to them. It's just not. And
That's what she's doing, though, now. Yes, she probably should have done it before she cheated on him, but she's doing it now, and he won't accept it. So I don't really get what he's saying here. He's saying instead of cheating, just leave the person. So that's what's happening to him now. His wife wants to be with other people, so she's leaving him. But he doesn't want to own up to that or allow that. So I don't understand why he's giving people... I don't know why I question these things.
I'm sorry. If you're in a marriage where that's okay, then that's fine. That's not me. I might be open to something once in a while kind of thing, but not like an all the time, kind of deal with a third or two others. Anyway, I'd never, or like it's okay, then that's fine. And don't be with them. It's not fair to them, It's just not. And I'm sorry.
This is really something.
If you're in a marriage
The algorithm provided, man.
where that's okay, it's just not. And I'm sorry. If you're in a marriage where that's okay, then that's fine. That's not me. I might be open to something once in a while kind of thing, but not like an all the time, kind of deal with a
Okay.
third or two others. Anyway, I'd never been on my mind. It blows my mind when people.
So he would be okay with it every once in a while, but not as like a... She can have a little infidelity as a treat, but it can't be on the table all the time.
Will cheat on other people. It just, and I understand why you get unhappy. You need some love or whatever. And even if I was given everything that I possibly could. In somebody else's mind, it may not be. It may not be not enough, and they need it from somebody else. They need recognition. They need that love and touch of somebody else, and it's a horrible feeling. So anyway, all right. Now that was the things that I feel like I did right.
That's
Now
the things he did
love
right.
languages. If you haven't read this, then read the book about love languages, and you should. It helps a little. It's kind of wishy-washy, and I feel like I think it pulls up 4 or 5 love languages.
I feel like he's floating
There's
in
probably
zero
more
G.
than that. There's gray areas in between, things like that you got to go with. But my 20-year-old, who's still living with me right now,
20-year-old
he brought something up that totally, I don't know why we missed it in our relationship, but the idea that your love language is what people should do to you for your love is a total.
Okay, I'm not there's no judgment for people that are, want to explore those kind of things. Nothing about this guy in any way, shape, or form reads that when they did would open their marriage on occasion that it's another woman coming in. I don't believe that in this case. Why do you think it was basically maybe a concession to try to save the relationship previously, or maybe it was a condition of getting back together that she could do that? Because that doesn't seem like something this guy would offer up of his own accord. Does that make sense? Like, he seems like a pretty meek guy who's like pretty dedicated. I just don't see him like being the one to instigate that. But if you're going to be open to it, I mean, I don't know, I guess it depends on the circumstances of it, but I mean, you're taking a pretty immense risk there if it's a relationship you want to last.
It is partial. It is partially that's what makes you happy, but what he reminded us was that we need to understand what somebody else's love languages is, and when they do that to us, they are giving us love, and we forget about that. It may not make us feel that way, but analytically it should. You know what I mean? It's like, oh well, my love language was acts of I can't remember, acts to do things for me, hug me, kiss me.
Grace Thorpe's love languages are PayPal, Super Chat, Cash App, Venmo,
Sexual stuff, whatever, for me. I can't remember, acts to do things for me, hug me, kiss me, sexual stuff, whatever. Do things like they are giving us love, and we forget about that. It may not make us feel that way, but analytically it should. You know what I mean? It's like, oh well, my love language was acts of I can't remember, acts to do things for me, hug me, kiss me, sexual stuff, whatever. And taking care of things, that was me. And hers was like acts, words of encouragement and things like that. So
his was sex and hers was words of encouragement. Yeah, that's not love language reality matching at all.
We were doing the things that was our love language for the other person.
My love language.
Forgetting that the other person was showing us love in the way that they did it. And it was kind of a balance, and it's easy to forget, All right, so I want to go back to communication. The part of the problem I think that we
let's circle back.
got into was my fear of contaminating the relationship with the things that bothered me. I kept stuff in because I didn't want to upset her. And that happens, I know, with both men and women. Men tend to hold stuff in more.
Well, and if he's being honest, which I don't know, if she really has a bipolar and a BPD diagnosis and she's going through an episode bringing up problems while maybe completely rational and reasonable might not go too well for whoever was doing was bringing up the problems.
Or just because they're less emotionally charged, I guess, less they're always taught to not rock the boat. Everything needs to be calm. That's what we do, So that was part of my problem, and I think part of her problem was not communicating what she needed, which is almost the same thing, really. Except I tried to constantly ask, what can I do? What makes this better? I don't know. Well, I don't know what to do then. And so then she feels alone because I don't know how to help, So anyway,
Matt says that Dave has very super sensitive, almost pretty eyes, and that he picked the wrong woman. He almost seems gay. Mm-hmm.
Getting along. I'm going to cut this. Anybody has questions? Anybody wants me to talk about anything else? in any other videos. I'll try to do one here in 2 or 3 days again. I don't know who's listening to this. If you like and subscribe, I'll try to do
14 views on this one.
more. Yeah, let's talk.
What's up, Randy? This is Dave. He's chronicling his divorce for us. And he's just said that basically that his wife had that they had split earlier, or no, a past girlfriend, I think, cheated on him with his friend. So he lost his girlfriend and a friend. And then he married, when he was 27, he married a 19-year-old. And then they eventually grew apart, but they got divorced, remarried, and now she's leaving. We don't know exactly why, but he's hinted that it might have been she wanted to be with other men, because he said he was open to it occasionally or whatever, but not full time.
Have a good day, guys. Bye.
It doesn't. What is this? Sorry, I can't. Some of this stuff I can't let it escape.
For the positive thoughts, I guess. I kind of give up on money. It is the most.
All right. Thank you. Denial, it's over. But forcing myself to move forward. 6 views. This is some prime Boit.
Hey, everybody.
JF, he did say that he considers himself to be left-leaning, but politically homeless, essentially.
Dave again. Going on to the next video here. This one's going to be about denial, the divorce, that I don't feel like it's over. There's still a chance, denial that it's over, but forcing myself to move forward.
Corndog, yeah, I try to keep on my phone and on my PC very Boit-oriented algorithm.
I still, it's very little. When I planned on making this video, I was still, 20% chance, 30% chance of this still working,
30% chance. She told him that it was over, that she was sorry, that it hurt him, but that it was over. He needed to move on and be amicable. Like, those were her exact words. Like, 30%? When he said a small chance, I thought he was thinking, like, moonshot. Like, 20 to 30%? No way.
I'm down to like 5% chance. I just
too high.
Less. It's not going to happen. But I realize that this part of it, of healing, can last.
He looks surprised to be on camera.
Months, possibly even years, for some people. And I'm sorry. I hate it. It's only been
Killer Toady.
3.5 weeks for me, and I'm moving through the stages pretty quickly. There's still a lot of sadness and a lot of loneliness, but I want to go over what some of the factors were in my situation, and then what they might be in a normal situation. In my situation, my soon-to-be ex-wife had a lot of mental conditions. It's honestly kind of...
Okay, so he claims she was diagnosed with bipolar. Did he say manic depressive or some kind of depression, and then borderline personality disorder?
Amazing that
he
we lasted
said
as long as we did. I think a lot of that has to do with my...
Randy said that his wife found BBC and will never be back.
Emotional intelligence, I guess you would say. Of course, she says that I
victim
have
of BBC.
But, I stayed with somebody for nearly 18 years that had bipolar 2, borderline personality disorder, depression, suicidal tendencies.
The band?
Hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. That's most of them.
Oppositional defiant disorder, non-reality matching.
And so in my head, for at least the last few weeks, it was, oh, she's in an episode. She's having an episode. Hopefully she'll get over it, and she'll, I'm not seeing that happening. I still think she might be in an episode, but
Cooked by Paro.
I think she's combined that with other decisions and other things that are reinforcing herself. I think she's surrounded herself with new people that are supporting her in this because I don't. Most of the older, her older acquaintances and family and friends are not really supporting her that much. She's living with her dad, and that happens. A lot of people live with their family members. They find at
Hyperactivity.
least one that they can stay with, and that's nice for them. But
She was a hyper. My wife was a hyperactive 19-year-old.
it's almost an enabling effect. So okay, so that's my thing. That's why I've held on, for a while. Um, I feel like that she's not thinking straight, and maybe she is. Maybe her thing was, I can't be happy with you. I need to be out alone. Of course, she's already with somebody else.
I mean, that's pretty clear. If somebody says, I can't be happy with you, like, again, maybe he's clinging because of the BPD and the bipolar, thinking like, oh, if I can, man, and that's not a healthy place to be where you're thinking like, oh, if I can ride out this storm, like if it's that bad of a storm where you have to start thinking like that, like you're already kind of washed in the deal, in my opinion. It sounds like this guy feels like he has like PTSD from war. Like you can't ride, and also it's perpetual, right? Like she's got to be, well, it's 20 years later, so she's got to be pushing 40, and she still doesn't have these issues under control. Like it's probably not going to be under control. So it's just going to be one storm after another.
So that was a lie. Um, yeah, sorry. There's some dead air there. So in a normal situation, you can have denial. She may a normal-ish. Normal's hard. That's a hard sell. Who's normal, right? Really, who? Almost
Okay.
nobody. So what I'm saying is if there were no heavy medical,
Well, and then also like is he open to taking her back after she's like already got a new guy and she's like telling him like it's over and I want a divorce? Like I don't know, maybe he would just like be able to kind of snap his fingers and not think about it or whatever, because it seems like he's still not only open to getting her back, like he wants her back, but she's like another guy's girl now, like
issues in play. I think I could totally see there being some back and forth, and
oh, I see
the
the
denial
foil.
could be very much
No,
stronger.
no, that's a pattern. It's some kind of like a real intricate black and white pattern. It looks like maybe like an urn, like an Egyptian urn.
With mine, it's like I know not. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on in this person's head right now. Well, I say that, but like I said, I've been with this person for almost 18 years. We were married for 3 years and then got divorced, and then she got diagnosed, and she took a lot of treatment and medication, and then came back. And I forgave her for some of the bad things that she did. We got back together for 15 years.
And then what the split that well, the things he's forgiving are that she was unfaithful, and then also I don't really know what it means. I guess like he said they had like she was causing financial problems, so either stealing money from him or overspending, something like that is what led to their first split. Was what's that? This poor guy, man. But it's like it's a hell of his own design. At the end of the day, I really do feel like the first time he got burned by her, it's like, oh, okay, well, he was in love and he didn't know what was going on, and then all these things happened. But like now he knows all those things. She's left him again, and she's with another man. Like, why this guy should be relieved to be out of this.
And then she did it again, same time of year. She just changed doctors. She just changed medications. And then 2 weeks later, boom. So anyway, regardless,
Hey, what's up, La Cosa Nostra? This is Dave. I don't know anything else about him. Dave's journey through life and divorce, 34 subscribers.
getting away from the whole point of this. There's lots of reasons to be in denial.
Credit
and
card
it's
debt.
really
There you
not
go.
going to do us any good. the chances that, especially in a second divorce with the same person, is almost unheard of. That's got to
Yeah,
be a
I mean,
tiny,
I
tiny
would I would tend to agree with that.
factor, but the chances that it happens, that you get back together twice, is nil.
I'm telling you, La Cosa Nostra, I could never get tired of of hearing those kind of stories.
I mean, it's probably less than 1%. I don't even know why I'm thinking that this whole 5% thing, but I just still feel like there's hope. I'm afraid that eventually she will come down from this high that she's on and crash, maybe, and possibly try to commit suicide again, especially after.
Right, but you can't. If you could have changed her, bro, you would have. Like, you're taking on all this unnecessary burden, in my opinion. But also, like, again, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again for 20 years and expecting a different result. I think he's just going to have to make peace with the fact that either he's going to have to look the other way when it comes to other men, or they're going to not be together. I think that's what it ultimately is going to come down to.
Or the court custody and things like that.
Narcissist girlfriend.
So that was a long run, I think, for me. The 15 years after we reconciled, was like, I thought, well, we've passed it. We've got through the hard part. We've learned each other. We have issues. We never yelled at each other. There was no hate, at least for me. I think with her BPD, which is borderline.
And I think that maybe I think you hear that a lot when you hear about people getting divorced, is this idea from one party of like, well, we didn't yell at each other and we didn't whatever. And it's like, well, that's not really like the flex that you think it is. Like, if you're just like, oh yeah, we never fought, like, I think that just says that you're an oblivious person that wasn't, and your partner probably wasn't a great direct communicator.
Borderline personality disorder. That was hard over the years because I feel like she did. There were times where she could just turn off love and turn on hate. And I'm just like,
wow, Scott says he's a loser in his bathroom. He's in his bathroom.
Like, what? That doesn't.
He's got a shower curtain.
I don't think like that, So that was weird. Such a long run, and like I said, I'm 46 now. She's 38. Yeah, she's 38 because I'll be 37.
38, perfect age.
47 here shortly. I tried the night she told me, I said, can we try going to therapy more intensive once a week or something like that, or at least talk about it? Nope, I've made my decision. This is happening. Okay. So then, a week or so later, the day before she said she was going to go to the lawyer, go to have a consult. I said, look, I know you're supposed to see the lawyer today. I just want to say again, I don't want this to happen. I'm willing to try stuff. We can talk about it. We can go to therapy. We can possibly try an extended separation. Trial separation.
Well, that's not going to help us. I don't know. Is he hoping that if they do an extended separation seems like a terrible idea. I feel like the longer she's away, the odds just are constantly stacking up against her coming back the longer she's out in the free world.
Here rarely works. Most of the time people go out and find it. They were fine leaving. So that didn't work.
Yeah, I think a lot. I think people tend to confuse and not understand that every couple doesn't argue the same. And what could seem like a really emotional conversation or an emotional argument or whatever isn't necessarily an indicator of like a bad relationship. And the same the other way. You might see two people who never argue, but they have no passion. They have no, you know what I mean? And then that's easily eroded as well.
And then the next week, or week after, I can't. Was Mother's Day.
Contact
I did
the
a quick
heathen.
video on that. Just respect her, even if you hate her. She's still the mother of your kids.
Even if
I
you
did a
hate
quick
her?
Video on that. Just respect her, even if you hate her. She's still the mother of your kids. But
I hate her, but I think 5%. I'm hoping we can get back together again.
I sent her a Mother's Day card. and I put a handwritten letter in there that said, "I love you still, and I'm sorry that you couldn't be happy with me, but I
Oh,
realized that it's not me, it's not something else that makes you happy. I can't make her happy. You can't make anybody happy.
mm-hmm.
You can
True.
be who you are, and they can be happy being with you, or they're not." And my therapist said, if she doesn't have the will to be with you, to stay with you, then there's no point.
I mean, I don't know for sure, Matt. I mean, I've seen the only stuff I know about him is what we've watched today. Maybe over the course of the series, we'll get some insights into that part of his life. I don't. I mean, there's a ton of videos left. I can't imagine what all he goes over.
Point. There's no. It's almost like just there's no love. Like she, her excuse was, we've just grown differently over the year, which is the whole we've grown apart, that sort of thing. So, like I said, I tried a few things. I wasn't being pushy. I haven't tried to text her. I haven't tried to talk to her. She's doing her own thing. I don't think she wants to talk to me. I would love to. I told her previously, it's like I have a million things I could say, but if you don't want to hear them, I'm not going to say them. So, you know, all we do at this point, I think, is feed her.
They separated and divorced over the same issue of her wanting to be with other guys.
Rage. I don't know if it's rage or hatred, but I know I'm almost sure that she's doing the thing that a lot of people do, where she's telling her friends all the bad things.
Oh no, who cares, bro? They're her friends. Who cares what they think?
Which a lot
This
of people,
is
it's rage or hatred or
this is not, in my opinion, super healthy behavior. He's fixating on down to the like drilling down to, oh, what will her friends think? Well, her friends are going to think, first of all, she's probably been telling every detail of your life to her friends the entire relationship. But even if not, like it's not like they're going to be like, "Oh, we're going to side with Dave." Like why does he care? He's torturing himself.
but I know I'm almost sure that she's doing the thing that a lot of people do, where she's telling her friends all the bad things. Which they couldn't have been that bad. Like I'm a grandpa. I'm a great guy. So
Oh my god, man.
I'm not great. Which they couldn't have been that bad. Like I'm not grandpa. I'm a great guy. So this is she's telling them all this bad stuff and not telling them how
Yeah,
I
the friends are hardly ever gonna be on your side and are probably actively working against you sometimes.
loved and supported her through bipolar and infidelity and theft and those periods where she just
Okay, so I'm gonna rewind it, but so I was wondering, it doesn't sound like it's, well, I don't know, I guess you could say if she ran up a bunch of money on the credit cards, but I'm interested to, I hope we find out more about this theft situation.
turn off love and loved and supported. She's telling them all this bad stuff and not telling them how I loved and supported her through bipolar and infidelity and theft and those periods where she just turn off love and turn on hate and for no reason, because that's bipolar, that's BPD. And I had to take those little sections and put them in boxes. I'm going to go over that a lot more in some other videos, and I'm
Great.
sure those will get a lot more hits. The bipolar and BPD and
6
living with
views
somebody
on
and
this video.
basically what you can take. So yeah, so she's not budging. I'm working my way out of denial, and it sucks. She's not budging. She don't want to talk about anything other than coming.
I mean, it can't be that big of a surprise that somebody who got married super young to someone who's clearly, I don't want to say, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but like this guy's not Mr. Excitement, right? He doesn't seem like he parties. He doesn't seem like he doesn't seem like he's indulging in the hedonistic lifestyle aside from his young wife. But like she missed out on a lot of like kind of formative social years being a mom and a wife, and then that kind of manifested probably in her cheating on him and stealing money to do whatever with. I don't know. I don't know with this guy.
and getting her shit and what's coming up with a lawyer.
But like it's not I guess my point I'm trying to make is it's not shocking that someone might wake up after a long time of being married so young and missing out on all that and being like, "Oh, I want to experience that now." And he's probably not a guy who's going to be able to fulfill that.
With lawyers. She doesn't want any kind of reasoning.
He's no Hito Rick.
So it's really kind of the worst part.
No,
for me is
Hito
just
Rick is the guy that she's allowed to see occasionally, but not full time.
there's no closure. I don't know. Like, the reasons that she gave
Oh yeah,
were,
I forgot about the wood slab guy that he's not trying to hook up with.
were convoluted. They were different. Like each time, she said something 2 or 3 times, and each time it was like kind of different. She says, "Well, I'm going to go and I'm going to go to school and be a therapist." I'm like, "That's great. Like you could have already done that. You could do that." I supported her through everything she wanted to do. The only thing that you could say would have been me holding her back would have been that I said, "Well, let's try to save up some money first, so that we're not just going into total debt, and for whatever reasons, usually she wasn't able to save any money. She's had a lot of problems with jobs over the years. I've supported this for 20 years on those, so yeah. I talked to her last week and I asked her, "Hey, you haven't filed yet. I haven't got anything in the mail from a lawyer or anything. Have you for 3 months that are true?" Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I'll trim that out. And I said, "Okay,
Oh, so he actually did trim something
mail
out.
from a lawyer or anything. Have you for 3 months that are true?" Her last week and I asked her, "Hey, you haven't filed yet. I haven't got anything in the mail
So she still hasn't filed the divorce papers, and he's been waiting for them
from a lawyer or anything. Have you
from the lawyer or anything.
for 3 months that are true?" Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I'll trim that out. And I said, "Okay, well then I will." I mean, I don't want to do any of this. I don't want to do it. But
I agree. I think the only thing he can do is just give in to her on making it full time. But I feel like she's going to meet a guy, the kind of guy who probably is going to step into that scenario, probably the kind of guy who's going to be able to give her the overall experience of like recapturing her youth. And I mean, then she's just going to end up leaving him anyway. So I feel like it's a no win. Even if he fully caved, I don't think this would work.
she's out there going and doing whatever the hell she wants, and just
Like he's not the kind of husband who would be in there like, high fiving the other guy or filming or something. You know what I mean? He wouldn't be like enjoying the lifestyle. He'd be like listening to like a podcast out in the car or something, waiting.
she's barely picked up anything from the house. She's doing whatever she wants, probably telling people that I'm some kind of a terrible person, which I am not. And
Who
everybody that knows me knows it.
cares? Who cares what she's saying about you, man? I think for the most part, people understand, unless there's really hard evidence, that when people are going through a breakup or a divorce, they're going to say things that they don't mean, or they're going to be, they're going to expect like everything to be black and white. I think for the most part, people understand that as listeners and are not taking everything they're hearing during a divorce as like gospel truth.
Everybody that knows me says I'm a
Like,
damn.
and then there's nothing worse he could do than if he approached these people. Can you imagine if he went up to him and he's like, "Listen, now I know she's probably telling you I'm a bad guy." They'd be like, "Whoa, buddy, take 2 steps back."
Saint for staying in this relationship. Um, and
Listening
they don't
to
even know everything
Rogan.
that I've gone through. So I'm filing. It seems like I always come up with something that's the hardest thing I've ever done. Yesterday, the lawyer contacted me and he said, "I need you to fill out this form why you should have custody of your son instead of her." And I didn't want it to come to this, but we had an impasse, and the pre, negotiations of custody, and
So in the early meetings, they had come to an impasse.
she just didn't. She refused to have me with a stipulation that if either one of us went into the hospital for mental illness or we lost our job, if either one of us went into the hospital for any mental illness or if we lost our job for 3 months, that our child would immediately go to the other parent for no less than 12 months. She refused that. And I said, well, that kind of tells me that you think it's going to happen. And if you think it's going to happen...
Uh-oh, here comes his chess moves, whoever said he wasn't thinking strategically. He wanted to get the stipulation put in that if one of them were committed to a mental hospital, and now he's trying to, like, psychologize her.
Could happen, then that's a problem. So, like, you know what I mean? It's like you're proving a negative with proving a positive with a negative. So that's where that is. This video is getting too long. I'm gonna let it go. Hardly anybody's gonna listen to it this long.
6 views.
So the next one, I'm gonna do a video on divorce with kids' needs and child's needs. And honestly, I think it makes everything harder. It's not the kids'
Do you
fault.
think?
I'm not saying that the kids make it harder. I'm saying when you have to do that,
If my kids are watching this, you're not making it harder. I didn't even think about that. Like, he said one of his kids is 20. Like, can you imagine stumbling upon the channel?
I had to bring up
What if they played it during the proceedings?
the mental illness and the job situation, and I never wanted to have to bring up why my ex-wife, whom I still love, is not capable. That's rough, because I've spent 17, 18 years helping her be capable and supporting her when she wasn't.
Exactly, Killer Tony.
And
that's pretty much what I was thinking.
it makes me sad to know that, knowing her better than anybody else, I don't think she's capable of it. I think she's very capable most of the time. But if 30%
If she has the right man at her side helping her.
of the time she can't, I mean, you can't just not raise your kid, You
The
can't
6 views are his children.
just lay on the couch and cry for 3 days when you have a child to take care of. So anyway, that's
Wow.
this video. Not raise your kid,
This guy's like, well, I think I still have a chance of getting back together, and then he drops something like this.
If 30% of the time she can't, I mean, you can't just not raise your kid, You can't just lay on the couch and cry for 3 days when you have a child to take care of. So,
No. We're not saying that happened, Corn Dog. We were just like speculating as to his particular language there.
so anyway, that's the end of this video. Thanks for listening. I'll try to make the next one shorter. I'll try to get some more shorts out there. People seem to like the shorts more. It probably just rotates through. Hope you're having a good day. If you're not, I hope you will. I'm not gonna say I pray for you. I don't
What's going on? What an awkward exit.
believe in that. This one's shorter. I'll try to get some more shorts out there. People seem to like the shorts more. It probably just rotates
Is this a new stream from when? I don't think it's a new stream.
through. Hope you're having a good day. If you're not, I hope you will. I'm not gonna say I pray for you. I don't believe in that. I'm sorry, but have a good day anyway. All right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Oh, look at this. We get a walking video. Let's go. Divorce. Kids are the most important things, not your ex's feelings. This, you talk about boy picked right from the garden. 3 views on this thing. 3 views. Can you believe it? This is like finding a incredibly rare bottle of wine.
Hey everybody, it's my new video. It's my channel, my journey through
Oh my
divorce
God.
and life. Life is
Very Clarence coded.
divorce. It's been about 3.5 weeks now. I just had to take my son back, dropped him off at my the ex-wife's dad's house. So I had to see her. That was a little rough. But what this video is about is divorce and your children. The children are the most important. They're the most important thing. I had to deal with my lawyer this week. I decided that I needed to file because even though she left,
I think this was an incredible algorithm. I'm all in for this guy.
she said she didn't have enough money to file. So I said, I mean, I can't just not let things happen. I can't just sit and let her do God knows what.
You think we're going to see the rage?
While, she's racking up bills, she's doing whatever. So I said, well, I'm going to find.
So it keeps coming back to that. It seems like she's going on these like little sabbaticals where she goes and hooks up with other guys and spends a bunch of money. And then she comes back and adults for a while. And then she goes and has like a little, sex tourism vacation.
File them. And that kind of stunned her a little, which is fine. I mean, it should stun her, this was her decision, but I have no choice but to go along with it, and you too, anybody.
I got to go grab a pipe cleaner.
So the lawyer contacts me. This is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. The lawyer contacts me and he says, I need you to write down all the reasons why you should have custody. Okay, well, in my situation, last year my wife tried to commit suicide. And then a couple of times since then, she was hospitalized for suicidal ideation. She's got borderline personality disorder. She's got bipolar 2, and a list of other things.
Hyperactivity. Millennial
she's barely been able to
brain.
keep a job in the last 20 years for more than about a year. And I've always told her, you're a great mom. You're a great
No more Mr. Nice Cock.
mom. She was a great mom when she was able to be a great mom. When she wasn't, she had me there to pick up the slack, to take care of her.
You think this is severely depressing? I mean, the subject matter, I can see that, but at the same time, I find it to be kind of uplifting because it seems like this guy's kind of, in a way, kind of like Jimmy, where he just really wants to be heard. Like, he wants his side of the story out there. So I feel like, it's kind of uplifting to help him share his story.
And take care of the kids and go to work every day, and some of those years I was driving an hour to work, and I know everybody has their time at work. You're lucky if you can get a 20-minute ride, but so 9 hours gone and an hour each way driving. I mean, I was gone 11, 12 hours, and then had to come home. And
like, I thought it seemed interesting, but I would have never expected it to be this good. I mean, this is very at least I find it to be very captivating.
And my wife is, well, I'm just going to lay down and cry for hours tonight. You know what I mean? So it's like, I still love her. There's a tiny bit in me that still wants to be with her, but
where was the other guy while she was in well, I mean, that's the thing. That other guy, the other guy controls the box. Dave has to he takes care of the box. Dave takes care of her brain.
I don't see that happening. So I just have to continue moving forward as if it's never going to happen. We're never going to be together again. And
there you go, Dave.
That's what I have to put into perspective when I had to write all those things down. I don't want to hurt her.
I don't know, Matt. I don't think he's talked about that yet.
This is going to hurt her. This is going to suck for her. It's not something I want to do. It's not something I ever wanted to bring up. Because for 20 years almost, I protected her from all this, Well,
I mean, let's be real. That's the primary reason that she's going to see the other guys. I'm sure she likes hanging out with them too, but like, I'm sure it's primarily one function.
And supported her when things were down, when she was suicidal or, things like that. Now, I mentioned the stuff that happened in the last year, but there were things that have happened over a lot of time, longer time. Infidelity, literally lying, cheating, and stealing. I mean, most
Ooh, a
people wouldn't admit
Guerrero. Awesome.
that at all, but I
She lies. She
gave
cheats.
a
She
lot of leeway based off of
steals.
her conditions. It's not her fault. It's not her fault. It's not her fault. Well, my therapist is now saying, when is it going to be her fault? Whether it's medical or not. I'm going to switch hands here. Whether it's medical or not,
Oh, cool.
it still harms me. She's still harming me. So, well, I had to fill this paperwork out, wrote down some nasty stuff.
I think he said his town has about 5,000 people, so it's a pretty small town.
Nothing that wasn't true, but it was some nasty stuff.
Latina
So,
heat.
like I said, you got to protect your kids. I can't.
Oh, look at this. Very nice. They've got some nice shrubbery going on here.
I can't let it go when she may, when he comes
Oh, yeah. Hormaxer could definitely take care of her.
home from school someday, and she could be laying there in a pool of blood. She could be laying there.
I think that's the kind of guy she's probably looking for. Somebody that's like the polar opposite of Dave.
Blue from taking pills. That's what she did last time. She could be, strung out on something. I don't know. She's never been big on the drugs, but that's not a problem.
Well, hold on. He's saying she doesn't really, she's not really known for being on drugs, but I'm sure she's strung out.
She's been drinking a lot. Strung out on. She could be, strung out on something. I don't know. She's never been big on the drugs, but that's not a problem.
Well, then why would you say it?
She's been drinking a lot lately.
I mean, this does seem like a pretty chill small town.
A lot of problems. Anyway, that's the ex. I really can't. I can't help her, but that's kind of what I had to say in this message to the lawyer. It's like, look, she was good when she could be good. The problem was she couldn't be for that long. Months, maybe a year, maybe, and then she would crash, and she couldn't work for months, weeks, years. She tried to get on disability twice.
Oh, there you go. Who was talking about that? Corn Dog? Were you the one talking about the disability?
That took 4 or 5 years where I just supported her and the kids and everybody. So all this is, I kind of took care of everything, with very little. She was always like, oh, I feel like a burden. I'm like, you're not a burden. You're not a burden. You're not a burden. You're not a burden. Until now, with all this stuff's happening, she's wanting to take half of everything. And
this is a neat looking town, man.
And I get it. That's common. That's normal. Even though we were spending between $8,000 and $15,000 a year.
Maybe if he choked her while they were fucking and like spit in her face, maybe that would get it going. Maybe he could, even if he can't physically match the other guy, maybe he could replace the energy and like, get it out of her system.
Here, and I know that doesn't seem like a lot. We live in a very small Midwestern area. $8,000 to $15,000 was probably 20 to 25% of my pay, for part of that time. So I was paying that kind of money out for mostly her medical bills every year, and I get it. It's our money, whatever. But I feel like I got no support in that, no recognition.
You've driven past there. It does have kind of like if you grew up in a small town or you've been through a lot of these, there's just something like universal about the way this little town looks. Look, we got the like Americana things hanging on the porch back there.
For that.
What a neat town.
Now that she's I was able to scrape by tiny bits every week.
You think the other guy was willing to sniff her butthole and that's why she went that way? I think this guy would sniff her ass if she asked him to.
put in a retirement account or whatever. Now she's going
To
to take
keep his family together, of course. Dave would be down to nose a line.
half of that. And I'm not okay with it, but I have to be okay with it. That's reality in America, you know. And I think my problem with it is a lot of it is she just walked. Like she doesn't even want to talk. She doesn't want to have any. She's like it's like no closure. I got no closure. It's just her. She came up with 2 or 3 different excuses. I've said this in other messages, but anyway, I digress. I hope you guys are okay with this video. I hope the sound's good on it. I'm trying a new gimbal out and
I can't believe this only has 3 views on it. It just feels like it feels criminal.
my microphone.
This is so
that's
good.
Nice. But anyway, like I said, when you're in this kind of a situation in divorce, you can't.
Paro says he would sniff it too. Why not? Hell yeah, brother.
It's not your problem
not?
to make them happy anymore. It's not. They may think you are. They may think, well, they're going to be nice to me but when we were still together, or when we first talked about this divorce, we talked about sharing custody and things like that. Well, you know, in the immortal words of my soon-to-be ex, things change.
Oh,
which
man.
is what she told my 11-year-old son.
Wow. What a statement, dude.
Things change. You know, in the immortal words of my soon-to-be ex, things change. Which is what she told my 11-year-old son when she told him that she was leaving.
Oh, no.
And he said, "You swore to me that you would never do this."
Do you think the 11-year-old said you swore to me you would never do this? That sounds like a Facebook post. My son looked up at her with tears in his eyes and said, "You swore, Mother, you swore you'd never do this to us again. You're tearing our family apart." And everybody applauded. You know what I mean? That sounds a little far-fetched.
You're a liar. And she said,
"You're a liar?"
"Well, things would never do this. You're a liar." And she said, "Well, things change." So
What?
I'm going to leave it at that. This is a fairly short video. People aren't going to watch much more of me jib-jabbing. But if you want to hear more of my story, I'll probably start talking more about the borderline and other things and how I dealt with that over the years. And as my therapist has been talking
Agreed, Rum Chat, for sure.
about how much are you willing to put up with. That's a mean way to say it, but how much are you willing to endure? How much are
Yes, if you're going to date someone who is like diagnosed with bipolar, manic depression, BPD, and all this other stuff, and you know that they're not good about their medicine, that is what it is. It is just going to be a war of attrition on how long you last, how long you can put up with it, how much you can deal with.
Are you willing to stand in the fire?
Those issues don't just go away like of their own accord.
Or light yourself on fire to keep this other person warm. You know, and she asked me that a few
He
weeks
said
ago.
that before. It was kind of a MILF phrase, I thought.
My therapist.
Pussy level thinking.
And I said, well, I wasn't done yet. I wasn't going to give up, you know. So, ooh, sorry about that. We bounced around a little there. I said I wasn't really ready to give up, but you know, the wife came up with multiple different excuses. Honestly, I think she's having an episode, but that's beside the point. I will talk about that more in my next videos, and then I'll talk about some of the books that I read 15 years ago on borderline. Stop Walking on Eggshells. I Hate You, Don't Leave Me, which is, well, I tell you what, if I went through all the things, maybe I'll do that in one of my videos. I'll do a checklist of the things on borderline, because I shit you not, everything that's happening right now with my ex is like
comes directly from the book of Revelation.
You're checking boxes down a list of of things on borderline personality disorder. Like she what was what you call splitting. She split, and I kind of know the point when she did that, but it happens. So anyway, if you want to hear about that,
Dicks
I will
change.
start doing those videos here in the next couple of days. My son is going to be with her all week, so I'll have some time and I'll do
Yeah, this is a great video, honestly. Like I love the like small town walking around vibes.
some more quality videos. So yeah, I want to.
He said Midwestern.
What do you guys think of this goatee? Should I get rid of that? I feel like I got kind of a baby face for my age. If I shave it, I'm going to look kind of weird, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, like and subscribe if you want to hear more. Have a good day, everybody.
Like I don't really have a problem with it if it's his life to live, but it seems like he's trying to. I mean, if he keeps taking her back for doing the same things, it's not like she's ever going to change. She's not going to stop doing them because she's not really being punished for it, you know? All right, this one has 16 views. Divorce. What I'm doing to fight anxiety and depression. Another walking video. Fantastic. Look at this thumbnail. Next on the next one. That's amazing. Just to walk and talk around town on a hard day in my head. Walk and talk on a bad day in my head.
Hey, everybody. It's not a beautiful night out tonight. It's kind of rainy where I live. But I'm going to do a quick video tonight. I'm going to go over the things that I do.
What do you mean by when you said, why did you say, what a moist asshole?
Divorce, during my divorce. I'm about a month in now. It helps me keep sanity, keep away that depression and anxiety, you know?
Goat. He's got a goat shirt on.
I mean, if you don't have a depression and anxiety, then you're probably happy to be out of your marriage, you know? Or, you know, you're a sociopath, but let's hope not. So number one thing to do when you're in the middle of a divorce, go to therapy. I don't care if you've never done therapy before. If you're feeling anxiety and you're feeling depression, even possibly suicidal, go talk to a therapist. Go find somebody. A lot of times your job might have an ERP, employee something.
Erotic role play.
It's free therapy. A lot of times it's like 6 sessions. You do 1 session a week. That can really help you out. It can really help you out. The second thing, do what I'm doing right now. Walk. You'll see this all over the place on the web. They'll say, take a walk, take a walk, take a walk. Well, what they don't tell you is, don't just walk with no distraction, because you'll just sit there and think about all the shit that you feel like you did wrong. What you did wrong.
Don't think about the things you did wrong so that you can process it and figure out how not to repeat those mistakes. Just listen to a Rogan podcast while you're walking.
Right. Take your camera, take pictures if you want. Walk around out in the woods. I'm on a long driveway that's near my house. But take your phone out, play a game on your phone.
Heavy machinery.
Watch videos on therapy. Watch videos like mine. There's plenty of other people out there that do the same sort of videos, and a lot of them can help you. A lot of them will give you ideas. They'll give you a lot of reinforcement of the things that will help you. You know, a little camaraderie. It sucks, but a lot of people go through divorce, and a lot of them don't want it. You know. Okay. The third thing on my list, when you are in a divorce that you don't want.
Honestly, this is a really nice shot. I feel like all he's done in the video so far is just spin his wheels on the exact same topics. He's just rehashing everything.
Dealing with anxiety and depression, work out. It's like walking.
Oh, there we go. Work out.
If you got a little more health, you know, you're a little more healthy, you can do workouts. You can do classes at a local gym. A lot of times they're just 1 hour, and they'll do a class at 5 p.m., a class at 6 p.m., a class at 7 p.m., a class at 8 p.m. Just swing in there whenever you're feeling like, oh my God, what am I going to do right now? I have nothing to do. I used to have my family here at home. Go to there.
I mean, from what it sounds like, and I know this is going to sound like I'm dunking on him. I swear to God I'm not. It's just the fact. It sounds like every relationship he's had, he gets cheated on in. So I would think after that happens for a while, it's got to affect you. And I think it's affected him because now multiple times this woman has cheated on him and stole from him. And he's still holding out hope even after everything that's happened.
Jump in whatever class you can get into. A lot of times, if you're paying a fee uh, for the place, then you can get a free class. Let's see what else you got. You can jog. You can.
I might send Grace one of the early videos and see if Ben would want to watch it on stream. I think he would
If
be
you
really funny reacting to this.
can do it. These are all things that you can do if you can do. You can go biking. You can do weightlifting if you want to do that. You know, a lot of people weightlift when they're young, when they're in high school and things like that. And then as they get older, they just let it go, and then they kind of feel weaker. A lot of times you can give that back. You can get some of that energy back, that testosterone back. You know, if you feel like you need that. Okay, the fourth thing: if you're getting divorced, and you feel depressed or anxiety, journaling. Now, this doesn't take up very much time. I tend to do it at about.
Remember when McHenry journaled for like 3 days and it literally drove him to a psychosis? Like one of his craziest episodes was after he had been. They told him to write down on paper what was in his head, and like seeing his own words written out literally drove him to madness.
I have an alarm on my phone about 9:30 at night. That's when I do it. Write down what happened that day, what I'm feeling. The hard part of this is you're going to have to be honest with yourself.
Take a face painting class. That's what
You got to write down what's really on your mind.
write poetry about it.
Oh, I still love my ex-wife.
I went to an open mic one time, probably like, I don't know, probably like almost 10 years ago. And all kinds of different people were reading their stuff. And there was one guy that came in right toward the end, and his thing was about like unfair elements of his custody hearing. But it was like everybody else that was there either read poetry or did a dramatic reading. And he literally just came in and talked for the entire time limit about how his wife was being unfair during a custody hearing.
And I wish you would come
or
back.
custody struggle.
That's fine. You're going to write that. You're probably going to feel that way. I still write that. I have a tiny bit of hope left. I don't know if I should.
He's still no, you shouldn't have any hope left.
But I do. And then write down the things that you're also doing to move on. That's the hard part. Sometimes you don't feel like you're doing very much. Sometimes you could do better. Some days you're going to have bad times. Some days you're going to be with your kids. You might say, I had a great day with the kids today. I didn't cry today. I did cry today.
What?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't cry. You might say, I had a great day with the kids today. I didn't cry today. I did cry today.
There was also a kind of a weird guy that the only ones I really remember, I have video of him somewhere. It might be on an old phone. But there was a guy who did like an overly sexualized reading of a poem about a plant. And then I did a spoken word piece on a movie. I can't remember what the name of it is right off the top of my head, but I did like a dramatic spoken word piece.
To be honest with you, a couple days ago, I went and saw the new, not Avengers, the replacement Avengers. Oh, crap. What was it called? Thunderbolts. Well, I saw that towards
He's doing McHenry movie reviews now.
the end of that movie that there was a lot of mental
This guy's
health
great.
issues. The main character, I'm not going to ruin it for you. The main character had some serious depression and problems, and he sort of did like what my ex-wife did, soon-to-be ex-wife. He flipped to be a bad guy, okay, which happens a lot. But in this, it really hit home for me because the main character, Yelena, I think that's her name, the Black Widow's sister. She went above and beyond to help support this guy and to try to save this guy, and even sacrificing herself, to try to save this guy in depression. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's what I felt. That's what I feel like. I feel like that's what I've been doing for 15 years, with my soon-to-be ex.
I'm looking up the name of the movie.
And it sucked. And I cried in the movie theater watching a hero flick, you know? And
Hold
this is
on,
my
hold on,
11
hold
year
on. This guy, he's saying that he cried during Thunderbolts?
old. And I had to, he says, Dad, why are you crying? I said, buddy, I'll explain it to you after we get out. And I thought maybe he'd just forget about it. He did not. He did not forget about it. He asked me as soon as we got out, and I explained it to him. And he said, I understand. He's like, I'm sorry. And he hugged me. And that's, I love my kid. And that's why I'm going to, you know, if you saw my other video recently, it's about the kids. This kid gets it. He gets me. I probably haven't cried in 15 years as much as I've cried in the last 15 days, you know, and he's
What?
never seen it probably. And he has. And I hate to be that, but it's good for kids to know that adult men can cry, you know. I'm lucky to have both my parents still alive.
I can't find it. Shit.
So that's, I haven't had that loss yet. Anyway, okay. I believe we're at the fifth thing. Write down things that you want to do. Things that you couldn't do.
It's a really good movie, but it's very trippy and it's very kind of kind of might cause you like some brain damage. I can't remember what the name of it is though.
When you were married, for whatever reason. And that doesn't mean, oh, I'm going to go out and do stuff by myself. I'm going to go out partying. No, things like I want to personally. Okay, let's shoot for mine. I haven't been to the mountains. I haven't been to Colorado, anywhere out there. I've flown over them. I went to Hawaii when I was like 12, but I never actually been to the mountains. And I hear a lot of things about it. I'd love to see Alaska. I'd love to see those kind of things. And my 11-year-old was also like, yes, I want to go. And this is one of those things that we were kind of trying to do as a family. And of course, my ex was like, I want to see the mountains. I want to see the mountains. Well, guess what? You know, the choices that you made, you're probably never going to see the mountains. But we like the photos of me and our child, you know. So
Wow.
That's a little mean.
You're never going to see the mountains. You're just going to have to look at pictures of him with his kids there.
It's not hateful, but it's a little mean. It's also a little truthful. So I may take him out here in the next month or so, depending on how divorce and money situation goes. But sorry about that. So we'll see how that works. So that's one of my options. You know, you could do something like, oh, another one that I would like to do is try like a mini triathlon. A lot of times I call them a sprint triathlon.
You think this guy's going to go to a... You don't understand. He's not into that. He's the, you know, that's why his wife was that kind of person, and he's not. He's not going to go to a swingers club because that's just not who he is. He wants his wife back.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it this year or not. I got a lot of work to put in before that, but I think I could do some practice runs, you know, and that would be amazing. At my age, 47, I'll be 47 next month. Yeah. For me to get that accomplishment, you know, a few months or even within a year after a nasty divorce and stuff, I've never done that kind of thing in my life. I couldn't run, you know, 2 miles when I was in high school, let alone now. And think about most people at your age, if you're around my age.
He'd probably feel like intimidated.
They couldn't do it, you know, and a lot of it's not their fault. A lot of it's not their fault. Physical infirmity issues, medical issues.
No, to you, many women are better than one. Dave is a one-woman guy. He just wants to be married, have a wife and a family. He's not interested in all the getting any strange.
Get old, and we get old, and that's all there's to it. Okay, so the sixth, let me count my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sixth thing that you can do when you are fighting depression and anxiety in a divorce situation, talk to people. I know there's a lot of people who are introverts these days, but I mean, I'm not. I'm lucky.
This guy needs to get fired up. Thanks, Whitey. Good to see you, man.
I'm not an introvert. I like my people, but I'm fine talking to people. I've worked in retail.
What does he mean by my people?
And it sucks.
Trad brainwashed.
I think it sucks. But I got used to talking to people, and I like talking to people. It's interesting. You can get to know people, and you'll find, as a guy,
This
that
guy needs to meet Hormaxer. At Fusion Studios, we support both the trad lifestyle and the 304 lifestyle.
you'll have pretty girls smile at you, and this is just walking down the street, not in retail necessarily, just me now.
He's like, I'd like a pretty girl to look at me, and then I could give her one of my patented long hugs.
You'll find pretty young girls talk to you, and I will have. This is way off that subject, but
Oh, you're saying he's saying it in like a white nationalist kind of a way?
I will have small children just come up to me
What?
like I'm their buddy, and I thought, what in the
What?
world is going on? Well, I found out that after looking around online and stuff, a lot of times animals and children, including babies, but up to like 5 or
He just probably read that like women think that guys are good if like, it's a good sign if kids like them and if animals like them. This just feels like he's making stuff up, in my opinion. Like, no shade, I'm a Dave supporter, but I feel like this is cope.
6 or 7 before they start getting scared of people, right? They gravitate towards people that they feel safe with, even if just at a look, just at the way you.
Oh my god, I hope you like long hugs and building tables. Children flock to me. What? This guy is really something.
You have an air about you, and that made me feel good. Just the other day, I went to a Great Wolf Lodge. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like an indoor water park, big indoor, expensive water park, right? And I ended up walking around with a little girl who didn't know me.
What? What is this? What is he saying here? What am I can't believe.
Saw me walking around with a little big indoor, expensive water park, right? And I ended up walking around with a little girl who didn't know me. She just saw me, and I saw her, and we kind of looked at each other, and she looked at like immediately.
What?
She looked at me like, can you help me? But didn't say that, and I offered to help. So I walked around with her for about a half an hour until we found her somebody that she knew. I'm not sure if it was her parents or not, but she immediately walked to him. So I was happy about that.
Oh my god.
So that was awesome. I really like that. My hair's fluffing up.
That was awesome. What?
Wind here. Okay. Anyway.
You know what? I should just tap out. We should end the series. I don't know how it's gonna get better from here. Oh my god, collector of lost souls. Yes, man. What in the world is going on with this guy?
Okay, I really like that. My hair's fluffing up. The wind here. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, talk to people. I talked to a guy on the street the other day. He saw me doing one of these videos.
I talked to a guy on the street
just down the road, and he asked me what I was doing. Of course, I had a video, and then I found out later that I hadn't had my my microphone on. So yeah, that video was shot. But I had talked to a guy, and he said, "Oh, I'm
You think this guy looks like Judge Doom?
sorry that you're going through all that. I see why you're doing the videos. That's really cool. You're out walking. I see you jogging by here all the time," because he's on my route for jogging my 3 miles. He says, "I just lost my."
I mean, like, I guess if we're going to criticize what he's doing, we should talk about maybe what the proper, or what I think would be proper is, if you found a lost child, you would either take them, like, directly to the closest, like, park employee, I think would probably be the best thing to do, or a security guard, something like that. I don't feel like walking around for half an hour really... I mean, it seems kind of sus.
My wife the other day. That's really cool that you're doing the. This is so silly, my hair. It's really cool that you're doing videos. More power to you, man. I hope you feel better. And just people that you don't even know, are just willing to say good things. They respect you for what you're doing. You'll meet new people. I didn't know the guy's name. I didn't get the guy's name.
Oh, hey, gobbledygook.
I don't feel like I had to.
He's not trying to hook up with him.
To get camaraderie, and you're not going to find people on the internet usually. They're not going to find their real name. Oops, medicine.
What?
So, yeah, that's my last thing, and I will leave it at that. I'll try to do more videos. I might make some of these into shorts. We'll see how it works.
People seem to be really liking the shorts.
Yeah, like and subscribe if you want to hear more from me. I'm going to keep doing videos every few days. Have a good one.
Well, that was certainly look, my algorithm is adjusting to Dave. Custody queens on air. Boyd divorce lawyer content.
The opinions expressed on the Custody Queen show are for informational purposes only and are not a substitute for personal, professional, legal advice.
All right. Let's see here. Divorce. Walk and talk on a bad day in my head. This only has 5 views. Look at this. How could you not click on that? Oh, look at this thumbnail here, too. This, though, is the king thumbnail, I think, so far for him. Divorce, just to walk and talk around town. Goes pretty hard.
Hey, everybody. I didn't really have a plan for this, but I'm in a larger city nearby where I live, and I'm just having a hard day today. So I decided to make a video while I was waiting around. I came over. I was going to go out with a friend, and that fell through. She had her ex got sick and couldn't take the kids, so she has kids now. But anyway, that doesn't matter. So I planned on hanging out with her. There's nothing going on between us, but it doesn't matter. So I was like, well, what the hell am I going to do tonight? Because I've already had kind of a rough day. If you saw my short earlier, then you would know that. I don't know why, you know. Yesterday I filed for divorce. I'd signed the papers and paid that, and I keep getting these weird feelings and weird. My ex is just saying weird things like I overheard her talking to somebody else when we were in a meeting, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go kayaking next week," and I've never been kayaking. I'm just thinking, yes, we went kayaking. What? What the fuck is? And I don't know if it's because of her issues with her mental issues where she forgot or what, but it was just so weird. And then she said she was going to go play this game that she told me that she absolutely hated, didn't want to do it, didn't like it. And it was just like, I'm just like,
So,
what in the hell is going on?
she's doing stuff with the new guy that she didn't want to do with this guy, is how I'm hearing this. Also, there's the beauty supply shop.
And this may be a common thing.
Oh, look at
When
this.
people get divorced.
Look at this classic downtown.
Of course, maybe women more than men, I don't know. But it's just
Janer, something's beauty supply.
let me get this up a little.
All right, see you later, Matt.
She's running out and doing things that I tried to get her to do, you know, for years. And she's all, I don't want to do it. I don't feel like I'd rather just sit here on my ass and, you know, watch TV or you know, surf
She said, I'd rather just sit on my ass and watch TV.
on the internet and look at fake realities of relationships that
Oh, boy.
don't really exist in real life.
So he thinks that she was seeing things on social media or maybe on pornographic websites that were setting what he feels were unrealistic expectations, perhaps.
And then blame me for for not being that perfect relationship, you know. So that's been weird, and it's been sucking into my brain, you know. And earlier this week I felt like I got to the point where I was like, yep, not my problem anymore. I'm not giving her any more of my brain power. I'm not giving her any more of my oxygen, talking to people about it. I'm done. I'm realizing she's a terrible person, but it's like I still
Listen, I'm realizing what a terrible person she is, but I'm still holding out some hope, boys.
have these, you know, I miss things. What is going on with this camera? We're going crooked. There we go.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
I
look at this building here. Pretty cool.
mode wrong. It's all right. But anyway, I just have these things. It's like I miss the times. I miss some of the things that we
I don't think so, beyond like a few states. I don't know if anybody's really trying.
did.
I
you
hope
know?
not.
And I did a smaller video the other day. I gotta wait here at the stop. I did a short that talked about how it's not really the person that you miss. It's the endorphins and dopamine and all those beautiful things that you get when
Iggy's
something
in
nice
Indiana.
happens. When that person decides, oh, I want to have sex with you tonight, so I'm going to go after you. You know what I mean? And it's like, that rarely happened with me because of my ex's medications and stuff. She was bipolar and BPD. The problems were with that is she was either, here's the range. It's either 0 or 100, like as far as sexual.
Yeah, again, like I'm not justifying what she's doing, but all of this behavior kind of falls directly into bipolar BPD behavior. So I don't know why after 20 years he's surprised that she's going to run one end of the spectrum or another on many issues just because that's her brain chemistry apparently.
Want. And the problem with that is
Cuba.
when she didn't want it, or I couldn't get her excited,
Oh no, oh no.
or hell, sometimes she would say
Suffer, Dave.
she wanted it and then just stop being excited right in the middle of sex. Man, that fucking sucks.
Oh man, oh no, the tap on the shoulder. You were pulling you out of the game.
And I'm just going like, man, like head down, It's like, what do you do? I don't know. And it just felt horrible. So anyway, yeah, you get that up and down. I really wanted to do another video about bipolar and BPD in my situation. I wasn't feeling that today to do a kind of a bam, 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 really specific video. And then I came over to. I wanted to pick up some new.
I know, like I'm laughing only because it's otherwise it's be so depressing. But man, I just having her be like, nah, this ain't it. Like that would be. I can see why the guy has self-esteem issues if she's not even like if she's not even willing to like endure it past this. You know what I mean?
Because I've lost almost 30 pounds since February. It's now into May. So I'm down quite a few sizes. And I need to cross here. So I need some new clothes. And I'm like, well, I can't run out and buy a bunch of new clothes. I don't have money. My wife,
What's that say?
soon to be ex-wife, thinks that I have money.
Man, he's really suffering with that.
Because I was able to. She said she couldn't find the
Hey,
money
look, it's the cops.
to file for divorce,
Freedom Title Company.
and I said, well, then I will, because first of all, I personally think she's still having mental issues. She's literally walked out. It's been over a month now, with just a
Oh,
couple
cool! Look at this back here. Look at this cool pharmacy sign. That's awesome.
cases of clothes. Nothing. I actually pulled out her birth certificate and some of that important information and gave it to her. It's like, dude, what are you doing? You don't have any of the important stuff in your life, Yeah.
You know what? Why have you gotten to the point to where everyone has to do everything for you? Now here, even though we're going through a divorce and you're literally sleeping with another man, let me do this. Let me help you with the paperwork for our divorce. Like, give me a break.
It's like she's on fucking holiday. It's wild stuff. I'm gonna try to fix this video a little. Let's go over a little. I don't know if that's doing it. It must be the mode. I screwed something
I think
up.
the police showed up because they said there was a suspicious person wandering around speaking with a vengeance in their tone.
There we go. Okay, there we go. Now we're on follow. That'd be better. Yeah. Okay. So, anyway, it's just wild, And she said she was trying to go to find an apartment. I think she was lying. I think she is literally just planning on moving in with this guy that she probably was already. I don't know about hooking up with, but
Dave.
it's like she was preparing to hook up with him for like the day after she told me she wanted it.
What does that mean? Prepare, dude. If she's hooking up with a guy directly after you break up, she was definitely already getting cracked.
Divorce, which is basically cheating beforehand, and that's where I'm just like, man, I don't deserve this. Like, I don't even care if your excuse is I'm just not into this relationship with you anymore. We want different things. You still don't go out and do shit like that before you're even separated. And now she's bringing this new guy around our son, literally a couple of weeks after.
Right, dude, because it's not been a couple of weeks. It's been probably a long time. Women like to have a soft landing set up so that they don't have any, like, he's floundering right now, right? He's drowning in this purgatory of this in between time. He can't move on because he's worried that would hurt his chances of getting back with her. Yet we know she's not going to come back, so he's stuck in this in between, and she's already moved on. Like, she set up her golden parachute before this guy even knew knew what was going on.
Got separated, and of course I laid that into the divorce stuff, the decree and the preliminary hearing.
So
I
suffer,
think that was what
Dave.
it was called, to try to get custody. And I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not. I don't know how important it is, but everything I've read,
Beautiful
it sounds
buildings.
really bad. Like, it's not illegal, but it looks really, really bad in a court case if you're immediately trying to bring some random guy that you barely know into your child's life and then possibly moving in with this guy. It's just a whole lot of bad decisions.
He's going to find this out, like, in court, right? Well, I don't know. Maybe she can't admit it because that might have some outcome on how if you're cheating, does that hurt you in divorce court? I don't know. Like, it's a moral issue. I don't know if it's a legal issue.
So that's just wild. And I don't even know so much if my brain is upset today because I miss her.
If you cheat and then you're leaving, you're the one initiating the divorce. How does the fact that you were cheating impact the divorce, I guess, or like the settlement?
Or if it's because it's like I just know something's not right. But I got to get it in my fucking head that it doesn't matter if she's not right or not. She's still fucking doing this to me, man. And that ain't right. I don't deserve that. I've been a great guy.
Oh boy.
I've done the best I can. I said some stupid shit sometimes, you know. And I've heard
Yeah, and she was 18 whenever they first met
a lot on the web
with a
There's
5-month-old.
been a lot of talk that I've seen about age differences, and she was, God, I was fucking stupid. She was 18 when we met, and I was about 20, 26. Yeah. So that was,
I don't know how much their house is worth, but in the early video, he was saying that, like, his portion of the settlement, if he got rid of, like, all of his pensions and Roth IRA, whatever, that he would basically come out of the divorce with the house and she would get everything else.
that was probably the stupidest thing that I ever did in my life. Honestly.
His name is Dave. I don't know anything else.
I just thought, oh, she seems so. She was and still is very intelligent. She acted more.
Yeah, she was definitely gobbledygook. He said that they divorced the first time over that, and then it's like consistent behavior. It sounds like she will kind of bail on him and then go on little trips where she spends a bunch of money and gets, like, cracked at hotels or whatever. And she has, like, little, like, 3 or 4 weekends and then comes back home again, is how he made it sound. So when he's talking about the financial stuff, I think it's the money that she's spending when she goes on these, like, little tourism trips.
More mature than she should have. You know what I mean? She had a lot of maturity. Well, the problem was she also had bipolar, PTSD.
Listen,
a shitload of other problems.
we ain't gonna ever get the wife's side unless this channel blows up, because she moved on. Even by she wasn't probably sitting around making these videos. She's out living her life, kayaking, playing whatever game it was that he said that she refused to play with him, getting porked, all that kind of stuff. Like, she's out living life. She's not cutting promos on this guy. She had a lawyer hired, like, she was ready to go.
Problems. So, in the bar. sounds rowdy.
Facial abuse. Oh my God.
Screen doors on a bar. That's interesting. Anyway,
Oh, and could you imagine if you found out that your girlfriend was on facial abuse?
like a screen door on a battleship. Anyway,
Woo.
so yeah, it's just wild
Yeah,
stuff
true,
going on.
for
I
sure.
got to get that out of my head that it's her that I miss.
They've been together for 20 years, divorced. I just think he's kind of naive if he hadn't figured out how things were going to go before this point.
Missed some things that happened while we were together.
Welcome
There
back,
was a
Matt.
whole lot that was terrible. So right now I'm wandering around downtown, just blowing some time. I picked out some clothes at Goodwill. I don't know if there's Goodwill where all y'all live, but here there is, and I thought, well, that's a good way to find some clothes that that might fit me while I'm changing sizes so quickly. So I'm trying that out. Better to pay $5 for a shirt and see if that size and brand fits than to pay 30 or 40 bucks for a shirt. And I know that may seem like not very much to you guys too, but I live in a pretty small Midwestern area, so it's much easier to get
Piano store.
things, especially used. I'm not a designer brand person, but I might pick some stuff up here and there, especially when you're going out dating again. You might pick up some stuff. I picked
All
up this
right,
shirt.
let's go.
It's nice. I like it.
This is one of his dating shirts.
It was, I don't know, $12 or something, but it's a large, and I ain't worn a large since high school.
Right, but that's exactly what she's doing, according to him, is having little trips out to indulge in the pleasures of the flesh. But like, he's not had enough. He's okay with it as long as it's confined to those temporary trips. I'm wondering if on one of those trips she maybe got a treatment she decided she couldn't, she wasn't willing to give up. Because he said he was not willing to let her have like a full-time bull.
I'm down to 210 pounds, 6'5", 210 pounds, so that's a lot. But I don't look like I'm 210 pounds. I look skinny. Let's see how much I can get. Whoop. Nope, can't get it. But it's I look skinny, and now that I've lost all this weight, I look almost weirdly skinny. So, but I've been doing some workouts, some little old lady workouts at a local gym, where it's mostly a women, and it's called body sculpting. Kind of keep the abs tight, keep your crotch muscles tight around your, what I'm talking about. It's mostly for women, but you know what?
Am I to understand this guy is at the gym doing Kegels in a women's aerobics class?
It's helping me to be around people.
6'5", 210.
And it doesn't matter. And you know what? And you know what's awesome? Is these little old ladies, a lot of them are in their 50s, 60s. Some of them are younger. But they support me. They're like, hey, that's great. That's cool that you're doing this. Not very many people come in here and do this. They're like,
they're not old women, dude. They're your age. You are only a few years younger than most of those women. Like, they're not kindly old ladies. They're other women your own age.
Training for something. I said, well, I'm thinking about doing kind of a mini triathlon at some point. I'm not ready for it yet, but
why is he talking about doing Kegel exercises?
Now I'm trying to get some weight down, and I'm trying to get my running to where I can run 6 miles fairly consistently, at least once or twice.
He's taking a spin class.
Right now I run about 5K 4 times a week, so that's something. But anyway, I'm not really saying anything, so I'm just going to let this video go.
Just like Jedi Rich. Not that I have anything important to say, but
I don't know. I just felt like talking, man.
He should hook up with a cougar, but like, he's talking about them like he's in his 20s. Like, bro, you're almost 47 years old. The women that are 50 years old there, those are your people. Those are your women. You think he's gonna try to get another 19-year-old?
And if any of you guys have any ideas, shout it out. Put it in the comments.
Got any ideas? Shout it out.
Hey, tell me how young you think I look. I think I look pretty good. I
Oh man, oh boy. Wow. Appealing to chat for validation.
had somebody last night at a bar ask me if I was aging backwards because she knew me from. She had a crush on me when
I've seen some of them, Killer Tony. I'm trying to save like I'm gonna have like a dedicated, or maybe like at the end of part two, we'll have time to watch his shorts.
I was little. When I was little, when she was younger and I was younger, she had a crush on me, and I knew she did, but she never admitted it. Of course, she's married now, but uh, but that was interesting. And then I had somebody else kind of hit on me at the bar, and I could tell. I've been
Whoa, is
watching
that a mosque behind him there, or is that a Russian embassy?
videos online. You can do this forever, but I could tell this one when she said she was married, but she she wasn't with her husband, and she went over to a table or to a bathroom or something and touched up her makeup, and then came back and sat and hung out with me. So I was like, that's a little something, isn't it? That's like a little. That means she felt like she needed to, to puff herself up a little bit, which is interesting. But yeah, leave it in the comments. How old do you think I am? See,
Why? Why South to West? Do you want to meet up with him?
here's a tip off. A little bit of gray, but a lot of people get gray. If I shaved this, why you'd really think that I was young. I have a baby face, but I have tiny little lips, so it makes me look funny if I do that. So I don't really shave it. My kid doesn't like it. My ex-wife didn't like it. I thought about trying just the mustache thing. I don't think that's going to work.
Oh man, I hope we get a mustache era.
But I am open to suggestions. Any ladies out there want to give me suggestions on my look? I'm not showing everything, obviously, but I think everybody says that my blue eyes pop out when I've got blue shirts on. So I like.
Matt did say that he thought this guy had kind, pretty eyes.
Have some blue shirts, which is weird because I kind of have greenish eyes usually, but with blue, I don't know, man. What do you think? Blue. Let me know. Tell me how old you think I am. If you watch my other videos, you probably know, but just pop them down in there, and I'm not going to give anybody prizes, but I'll let you know later if anybody's curious how old I am. But I'm losing a little bit on top, but not.
Hasn't he confirmed many times that he's 46, about to turn 47? Why is it all of a sudden like a mystery?
Too bad for my age.
Do you think he should grow a full beard like Jimmy? There's a couple movie reviews on my playlist where I have my beard isn't as epic as Jimmy's, unfortunately, but it's it looks like a homeless person beard.
Hell of a lot better shape than most people my age. I've noticed that. I've been on the dating apps, and most people my age, men and women, look like shit.
He's like, I'm on there. I'm getting a lot of attention from these women. They're directing me to other sites, but I'm having very fruitful conversations with them on the other platforms.
Apologize. I'm not poking at anybody. People have their own lives. A lot of us have problems, especially in marriage. Hell, I was 270 pounds about 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm down to 210. So it is what it is. All right, I'm gonna let you
Stress is great for weight loss.
guys go.
Well, for some people opposite.
Have a good evening, man. I'm gonna go into a game store down here for a minute, and then I'm gonna blow some time there, and then go over to a bar that's got kind of an outside area. It's just so damned early. It's only like 7 o'clock. The hell am I gonna do at a bar at 7 o'clock? But I brought my Kindle
exactly, Dave.
Paperwhite with me. It's got an outside area, so I may get a rum and coke, or some Jack and Coke, or somebody had a Crown and 7-Up or something.
But don't forget, isn't this the video where he said he's in the big town, not his town?
I don't know. I'm willing to try about anything. Everybody's looking at me doing videos. I've watched a lot of people online. It's just something you got to get used to, and I'm gonna keep trying to do this in crowded areas. It's interesting.
I'm gonna keep trying to do this in crowded areas. What? To what end?
Some people giggle at you. The younger kids giggle at me. But yeah, I'll let you guys go. Like and subscribe if you want to hear more. They're not always going to be rambling like this. I promise tomorrow I'll do a video about how the bipolar and BPD has kicked my ass over the year. Not mine. my ex's, and has kicked my ass over the year. Not mine. Polar and BPD has kicked my ass over the year. Not mine. My ex's. And I want to go over.
Do you think he do you think he just has? Do you think he curled them, or do you think he has like just naturally large eyelashes?
To explain to people what you better be prepared for. And of course, you're not going to know a lot of times that this person that you fell in love with has this until it may be too late. And then, well, you can't just say, no, well, you have this, I'm leaving you. That's fucked up. You're not going to do that. But so what I want to do is let you guys know, men or women, what to expect. And I'm going to be straight up honest with you.
I couldn't get any black fly. The guy at the liquor store here said that was a 304 drink and they didn't carry it.
If they've got bipolar disorder and
Hyperactivity.
borderline personality disorder and ADHD and post-traumatic stress disorder, it's not going to work. There's a very slim chance that it's going to work. So, all right, I'm getting close to the store, so I'll let you guys go.
She got a case of the
Have a good
wandering
day.
box.
Like and subscribe it. I'll try to get something on here. Like I said, if anybody wants to know anything or hear anything from me, just post it, and I'll do a video. Thanks.
All right, let's see. Here, oh wow, here's a long one. Divorce, marriage with a partner, bipolar, ADHD, PTSD, etc. How it can affect you and what to expect.
Hey everybody. I'm finally getting to the video that I really kind of been putting off for quite a while. It's a big one about living with my soon-to-be ex-wife. She had bipolar 2, BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. She had depression, ADHD, PTSD, and there may have been more, but that's just a lot. And any one of these things on its own is rough. I do want to bring up my channel name. This is Dave, and this is my channel. My life, my journey through life and divorce. So I'm getting to this part. This is kind of, honestly, I'm surprised that our relationship lasted as long as it has. I'll go over it real quick. We were married for 3 years, about 20 years ago.
I'll be right back.
Left about the same time she recently did. She had an episode, and then over 2 or 3 years, she kind of realized she had a problem. She got diagnosed with a couple of things, and then she made a lot of mistakes during that time. And then I ended up taking her back because I had been with a few women in between that time, 2 or 3 years, and I just didn't feel about them as like I did with her. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it another chance. She apologized. She said, you know, I won't do this. I won't do this. I won't do this ever again. I won't do this. I won't do, you know, all that stuff. Okay, well, I'm not going to go over all the details of what bipolar and BPD and all those things do. I might do that in another video, but what I want to go over first are what each one of them, what I felt like they did. Okay, so first thing, bipolar.
So he's going to tell us like how he was a victim of each thing.
Makes emotions go up and down. It can go rapid cycling, which is day to day or even hour to hour. Happy, sad, happy, sad.
Beach cake.
Usually it's weeks or even months.
I just bought more dark rainbow. I'm kind of feeling the dark rainbow.
Or even years. Sometimes my wife would go years with just small bits of depression, and then she would get a fit of mania, usually in the spring, right before her birthday.
Mania. Oh, yeah. That's the good shit.
Okay, both the same times that she divorced me, and she kind of knew it after the first divorce. So she knew what the problems were, and she knew the triggers, and she would let me know, and be like, "Hey, I need you to keep an eye on me. I need you to tell me no when I need to be told no." Because somebody that's in a manic episode will,
which is kind of maybe I understand that, but also it kind of like again puts the emphasis on him. Like instead of her just trying to figure out ways to cope with her diagnoses, like to kind of push it off on him. Well, listen, it's up to you. You need to tell me no. You need to tell me whatever. Like if you're going through a manic episode, you're not gonna listen. You're not gonna listen to somebody.
Uh, they'll go out and spend money that they don't have. They will look at other people, in sexual ways and think, well, I deserve to have that. I want to go have fun. I want to have a three-way, I mean, insane stuff. Not insane. It's some people are into that, and that's fine. If you're into that, that's absolutely fine. So that's the bipolar.
So she would get in his mind, and I don't know what's the truth and what isn't, but it sounds like whenever she would have an episode, she would get super horny and want to have a threesome. And it seems like he acquiesced on that to me because he said he was okay with it and he's brought up threesomes before. But maybe she was wanting it like too often or something.
BPD, borderline personality disorder, it's like that, except they can literally.
Well, at least she's including him. I figured he was like at home or something.
Flip to a different person. There's a good book called "I Hate You, Don't Leave Me," and that's a perfect example of it. They will decide that they hate you all of a sudden, and then you'll say, "Well, I guess we should split up," and they'll say, "Oh God, no, don't leave me." That's their biggest trigger. Or flip it in reverse. I personally believe that my soon-to-be ex-wife is flipped right now.
She's getting flipped.
A couple of other people that know the mental health field have kind of agreed to that. I've seen it over 20 years.
Eskimo kiss?
So I kind of get it. And I know she may not admit it, but that's what people do in those situations. It also is very possible that she's just grown. I don't want to say grown tired of me.
I mean, I could be completely wrong, but do you think this guy in a threesome situation is going to, if he has this same energy in a threesome, they would probably just ignore him, which was maybe that was the problem.
But one of the excuses that she said was she grew apart. She grew into a different way than I.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know about rapid cycling, but I feel like hour to hour is kind of seems like a stretch. But I'm not an expert.
We're about 8 years apart, and that very well could have something to do with it. That's probably one of my biggest issues. One of her biggest issues, that she was 18 when we met and I was 26. So probably my fuck up. I had very little relationship experience and knowledge other than high school relationships. So
you think she's having a threesome with two other guys? You don't think he's being allowed to be part of it?
Hindsight's 2020.
Go get us some snacks.
The next thing, ADHD. That we ran into some troubles. She couldn't focus on things, and by itself, it's definitely handleable. My young son has it, and we handle it. He does pretty good. But if you are also manic or depressed or something like that, it can really suck your brain into places that you don't want them to be. Perfect example, we would be in the middle of having sex and she would cry. And I'm just like, whoa, what? What happened, right? And it just like...
Suffer, Dave.
It would freak me out, or I would...
I mean, yeah, I would imagine that would probably freak somebody out. Man, poor Dave.
It was rough, and I just had to deal with it, for a long time. And
Grace's Fantasy, the DP, absolutely.
And that sucked. So,
or
PTSD,
used to be.
She had a lot of things happen to her when she was younger. She was assaulted at one point. I don't recall. That may have been more than once, but I think it was during the time that we were separated, during the time that we were first divorced. So, okay, here's the thing. That was like I said, I didn't want to do this. This is the rough part. I'm trying to get away from putting too much of my mind into my ex. but I want to go over this stuff because I know this is an important part that people are going to want to know about. It's important to know what your stuff because from during the time I think it was altered at one point. PTSD. She had a lot of things happen, for a long time, and it was rough, and it freaked me out. So, and it just it freaked me out. Whoa!
Oh, there we go.
Panic or depressed or something like that. It can really suck your brain into places that you don't want them to be. Perfect example. We would be in the middle of having sex and she would cry. And I'm just like, whoa, what? What happened, right?
He's like, whoa, what?
And it just it freaked me out, or I would, and it was rough. And I just had to deal with it, for a long time. And that sucked.
Okay. Do you think he finished?
So PTSD, she had a lot of things happen to her when she was younger. She was assaulted at one point. I don't recall, that may have been more than once, but I think it was during the time that we were separated, during the time that we were first divorced. So, okay, here's the thing. That was, like I said, I didn't want to do this. This is the rough part. I'm trying to get away from.
Now I'm imagining that she's riding and she just is crying into a pillow.
Putting too much of my mind into my ex, but I want to go over this stuff because I know this is an important part that people are going to want to know about. It's important to know what you're getting into, what you're able to handle. So, okay, here's a list of the things that she did during the time that we were divorced for about over 3 years. She lived way beyond her means. She went out and bought, she was making 12, 13.
I mean, this is absolutely fantastic content. This truly is this is literally the inside experience of Dave's divorce. Like, this is like way more open than I thought it was going to be.
$13 an hour. She goes out and buys a $500 vacuum, $500 television, racked up credit card debt, $5,000. That was all they would give her. So luckily that's all they would give her. So she lived way beyond her means. She tried to party while she had my stepson, who's actually very much older.
I mean,
now.
Regardless of anything with her, like, she's clearly a terrible compatibility match for this guy. She's a wild individual. He is very restrained and meek. I think she's wanting like more of a, I don't know, more. She's wanting somebody that's a little more assertive. I think.
But he was 3 or 4 years old at the time. She made some.
Do you think, we need to get Ben's opinion on this. Do you think her getting married to an older guy so young was like her? Do you think he's almost like a father figure to her, and now she wants that like guy her own age?
Poor relationship choices, and she was kind of still texting me at night, and that kind of messed with me. But I was trying to be nice, and she would tell me when things were like, when she was scared or when she was sad, and with these boyfriends. And she hopped around to a few of them and probably did some pretty rough stuff. But she also put our older.
No, I don't think I certainly wouldn't think it was Keno if that happened. No, I don't want any negative outcomes for these people.
Like I said, my stepson into pretty nasty environments. She took them around people that she should not have because she needed something from those people. She needed validation that she had done the right thing. She needed companionship. She needed people that would tell her that she was pretty, people that would tell her that she's fun, people that, all these things. And that is not to say that.
Okay, so, but he knew this. He knew, we've heard from his previous videos that he was aware that, like, remember they did the love languages thing, and her love language was words of affirmation, and he's basically repeating that here by saying she wanted to be told that she was pretty. Of course she did. Of course she wants to hear that she's pretty and attractive and whatever. What is he not doing that? Because he acknowledges that, he knows that's what she wants. So is he just not doing that? And then he's surprised with the result?
That I didn't do all those things. It's just at a certain point they can decide that they don't want it from you anymore. They need it from somebody else. And I'll be straight up honest with you. I believe she's doing this exact thing right now during this new divorce, and this is almost 15 years later. She immediately has started basically living with another person within days of telling me that she wanted a divorce. So that means two things, and I know a lot of people on here will tell me she was probably already seeing the guy. She was probably, and that's very possible. There's nothing I can do about that. Okay. So the next thing that she did while she was away from me during the first divorce, she got pregnant. So another bad choice, at some point. Well, she came to me crying and
Hold on. Did he say that she got pregnant while she was cheating on him? Was that in the first divorce, or is that a current statement?
and well, so another bad choice during the first divorce she did while she was
Okay, so during the first divorce, she got pregnant?
away from me during the first divorce. She got pregnant.
Oh my god. Oh my god, brutal.
So another bad choice, at some point.
Oh man.
Well, she came to me crying,
Dave.
and I was with somebody at the time, but she came to me crying and, oh, well, I'm pregnant, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden I lost the baby. Well, honestly, coming from somebody with all these issues, she could have lost the baby. Very possible. More likely she went and got an abortion because she knew she wanted me back, and that I likely wouldn't have her back if she was pregnant with some other guy's baby. So it would not
What?
surprise me. I have no proof of this.
So so she gets pregnant. They separate because she was cheating on him. While they're split up, she continues to hook up with other guys. One of them gets her pregnant, and then she reaches out to him to see if they can rekindle, and she ends up getting an abortion.
It would not surprise me at all if she had gotten an abortion of that child at that time.
Jeez.
Not child. You know what I mean. I'm not anti abortion or anything like that. Pro-life, I'm not, none of that. This is not political. Not the point. So that happened. And then she cried and stayed at my house for 2 or 3 days after she lost that baby. And then within a few weeks of that is actually when we kind of got back together. And God forbid, now at this point, I should have looked at all these things and just ran away. I should have, but we did have
John
15 years
Redcorn.
that were. I thought they were mostly pretty good. I thought we were working towards something, and then here it came again. Okay, so that was all the things that she did during that time, and she needed for validation, and she's looking for the same thing now, I think. So her treatment over the years, okay, she had pretty constant treatment. She did a good job at staying on her meds. I will say at times when she would go manic, or when she would feel like she needed.
He's talking about her like I would talk about like Grace or somebody that I cover. He's being like, he seems very like clinical and detached describing it, and then gets like intensely personal when he breaks it down.
To get out there, she would start drinking a little, and sometimes a lot. Well, if you know anything about these kind of meds, it negates them. So that can steamroll into more and more and more problems.
Yeah, they got married when she was 19 when they got married, and he was how old? 33, something like that, or 30 or 27, something, I don't know. They were 9 years apart. And then she cheated on him and stole a bunch of his money, so they divorced, and in that separation she got pregnant by another guy, had an abortion, then they got back together, and then they stayed together for 15 years until now. She's not happy with just an occasional threesome.
And she started drinking, of course, a few weeks before she decided she wanted a divorce this time. So all these things, I mean, if you know BPD and bipolar and all those things, it's like checking a box. I mean, everything down this list, but none of it matters now. She's moving out. She's gone. I filed for divorce. So, and sometimes medicines, people that are on these medicines, they will lose their efficacy. You don't know what that means? It means they just slowly stop working over time. They can build up in your body, in your bloodstream, whatever. There's lots of ways. And then sometimes when those are wearing off, the only way you know is they start acting out, or getting super depressed or suicidal or something like that. And it sucks. And it sucks for them. You do have to have empathy for them in those kind of situations, because there's going to be times where they'll come home from work, if they can even work at all. There's going to be times where they're going to come home and they just want to lay in bed and cry for 3 or 4 hours. And the best that you can do is
Man, this lady pretty much cries anytime this guy's around, and when he's not around, she's sleeping with other guys. Where's the appeal for this guy? What's the positive side of their relationship, I guess? He doesn't really seem to be like, oh, I was happy, I was whatever. I'm just really curious about his motivations for staying, unless it was just comfort and, like, consistency or whatever.
and hold them for a bit and ask them if they need anything. Do what you can do. I really tried to do that a lot. But we had kids, and I had to go out and fix dinner. I had to go out and do things. I couldn't. It really
Is that any better? The volume really shifts between videos.
sucked for her to have these problems, but you cannot lose yourself in that person's problems either. You need to help them, but you still have to handle your life, and you still have to handle your children and things like that. So that's something you got to deal with. And sometimes the mental states, they just bleed through the treatments, no matter what you do. You can get, like I said a minute ago, a lot of times it's depression. There's nothing you can do about that. And it can go for weeks, it can go for months. And a lot of times it will, your significant other that has these things may lose their job. Mine was barely able to work, and this is something that's in the court documents now, but I'm not sure that she's worked over a year at a full-time job in almost 20 years. So be prepared for that. You're going to be mostly on one income or small income from that other person, because they're not going to be able to hold much of a job. And which means they're going to have high turnover jobs. You may substitute teach, work at a...
Like, that's, I don't really understand, though, why other than just, like, he doesn't seem to, like, he would enjoy, like, a younger girl's personality. Is it just, like, a trophy wife thing? Because it doesn't seem like I would think if you want to get a younger girlfriend, like, it would be because you wanted to party and, kind of have a lifestyle that's younger than your own. Like, he doesn't seem like he wants it. He wants to drag a younger woman into, like, his, older guy lifestyle.
Daycare, clean houses, laundry, things like that. They may do jobs like that. And you're going to have to deal with that.
Yeah, he referred to the women that were, like, a few years older than him as being, like, the kindly old ladies.
Okay, so I'm going to go in my second divorce now. I think she's making some mistakes, and I get it, and there's nothing I can do about it. At this point, I'm borderline, like, do I even care? Do I even care that she's making these mistakes? I think that I'm not even...
This man sat down and put together a presentation of all the wrongs against him, and now he's like, but you know what? Do I really care about any of this stuff? Does it really matter?
I'm at the point where I'm not even sure that she ever really loved me. The idea that she could immediately jump into another relationship doesn't necessarily mean
she
much.
Didn't. If she was... Okay, how can you... I'm going to lose my mind. How can you be surprised that she ended up pursuing another guy when, like, it's an accepted part of your relationship? Like, I understand being pissed off about it, but being surprised or caught off guard, that just doesn't seem... That seems foolish to me.
Because people that have these kind of problems, like I said, they need somebody there. She was telling me a month ago that she needed to be on her own so she could get better and heal. Well, when you have these kind of problems, you don't just get cured.
So do you think for her, you could kind of think of it like, oh, well, he pulled the 19-year-old, but she was an 18-year-old when they met with a 5-month-old baby. So like, do you think it was like a any port in a storm, and now the storm has passed for her?
Um,
So like she's ready to
if you
find
find somebody that
a new
is willing
port.
to stick with you for almost 20 years while
Shout
you're
out
trying to
Ruby.
commit suicide multiple times, telling them that you're not going to be around in 10 years, cheating on you 3 or 4 times, happened to me, literally stole money from me 4 times, telling them that you're not going to be around in 10 years, cheating on you 3 or 4 times, happened to me, literally stole money from me, $5,000 over time. I was giving her money to help pay off that first credit card debt when we got back together.
Oh man. So so before she bailed on the marriage the first time, she ran up a big credit card bill, and now that they're back together, he's paying off like her adventures.
I was giving her money every month, like $200 or $300 a month, and then I found out 5 years later into our new marriage that she had not been paying that. Not 5 years, but a while. That it had gone to a collections, and the only reason I knew that is because a collections thing came in the mail. So she stole, and I just forgave her. And I just said, you know what? I forgive you, but you are paying for this all on your own now from now on. Well, I mean, she still just stole $5,000 from her husband. You know what I mean? And also during that first 3 or 4 years that we were back together, she did cheat on me one time. Well, at least one that I know of.
What the?
One
Dude,
thing
this lady likes to fuck, man. Jeez. That's like what, at least 5 times that he knows of that she's cheated.
people who have these kind of problems and depression and stuff is they don't go out much. So you kind of can keep an eye on them that way. So you know what I mean? If they start acting weird and staying out really late and stuff like that, that's when you start looking at other men. But anyway, I had a guy contact me and he said, "Hey, I just need you to know I'm sleeping with your wife." Or I was sleeping with your wife. And I think he told me because she.
What? A guy? So a guy comes up to him in real life and is like, "Hey, bro, I banged your wife." is this real?
Cut him off, sleeping with your wife. I had a guy contact me and he said, "Hey, I just need you to know I'm sleeping with your wife."
No, okay, so somebody sent him a text message or on Facebook or something. I thought someone like approached him at the grocery store or something.
I was sleeping, and he started looking. So you know what I mean? If they start acting weird and staying out really late and stuff like that, that's when you start looking at other men. But anyway, I had a guy contact me, and he said, "Hey, I just need you to know I'm sleeping with your wife." Or I was sleeping with your wife, and I think he told me because she cut him off.
Suffa, Dave, that is crazy. Somebody messaging him being like, "I'm sleeping with your wife." Oh my god.
And I kind of had inklings of it, but I didn't even call me a simp for this if you want, and I feel like it. I did.
Dave is a content king. I'm unfortunately we have a limited amount of content because he's not active anymore, but man, I want to take the full Dave journey through through life and divorce.
Didn't even let her know that I knew about it because I believe it now after some therapy. I believe it was a codependent thing. I didn't want to rock the boat. I loved my wife and I wanted her to be here with me.
This only has 17 views. It's just, what is wrong with the
So yeah, so this time she brought somebody new immediately into our son's life as well. Almost everything that I've read and found out about what you should not do and what you should do in a divorce.
It's Savvy, guys. Savvy's gonna wipe up the 304 and raise the kid.
Divorce and with children, she's doing all the wrong things and I'm doing all the right things, which I mean, pat myself on the back. It doesn't fucking make me feel good. I do a lot of the analytical and data and gathering documents and stuff like that because it keeps my head busy.
I wonder. I watched on Esoteric Archivism has the Dead Man Divorce Arc, and I kind of skimmed through one of the videos. I'm wondering if that isn't what triggered this to show up in the algorithm.
Makes me think of her less, even though this stuff has to do with her. It's me accomplishing something. accomplishing something. Sorry. So that's what that is. Now, what I want to bring up, this is one of the biggest things. With all these issues, bipolar and BPD and depression, all this stuff, there were a lot of times in our lives together where I just had to suck it up. And there like times where she would just turn off her love. And I realized what you're saying. How do you do that? How can you do that? You can have BPD, you can have bipolar. And it's just like, well, he said something to me that made me feel bad, so fuck him. And it's like,
oh, is that the first F-bomb?
Like I've been with her for almost 20. Fuck, you can have BPD, you can have bipolar. And it's just like, well, he said something to me that.
Yeah, JF, I think he has like 3 installments of it. There's like on esoteric archivism, like there's like an introductory where he just talks about it, and then there's like the stream with the wife, and then the cuck stream.
Made me feel bad, so fuck him. And it's like, what? Like I've been with her for almost 20 years now, forgave her for everything she did, supported her through multiple suicide attempts and lots of
for real, I
hospitalization.
think he has forgiven her because he doesn't. I mean, the thing that is bothering him right now is that she's not with him. That you know what I mean? He doesn't really seem even bitter or resentful over her cheating. He just wants her back. Is how it seems to me.
She treated me terrible. She what my therapist said was I lit myself on fire to keep her warm.
Oh, that again?
And it sucks to hear it that way. Because like I said, I'll bring up the simp thing again. It's just, it makes you feel like I was just letting everything go over the years, you know? And I think, like I said, it's a codependency and anxious attachment style. But also I'm very much on the secure, you know what I mean? It was like this much in the attachment and this much in the secure. And you can kind of tell that partially because I'm sitting here talking about it. If you can talk about it, you know, then you're probably thinking about it, which means, you know, you've learned. Recently, she has talked to me about I have bad emotional intelligence. That's bullshit. You cannot be with someone and live with them and love them through thick and thin for almost 20 years with bipolar, PTSD, all these things. I'm not going to go through them every time. You can't live with somebody like that and not have massive emotional intelligence. Now, I say that, but I'm going to bring up another book, and I'm going to go over this later. Another video. Stop Walking on Eggshells. I had to learn a long time ago when we.
In his next video about not walking on eggshells.
Got back together. I put a lot of I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. If you come back, I will forgive you for all this stuff. I'm not moving away. Don't ask me to move away. I like my home. I like my area. It's a good place to raise kids. I'm not moving somewhere. Don't ask me to, you know, see other people. Don't cheat on me. You know, don't steal from me. You know, well, and some of these things she actually fucking did. So I fucked up. And
like, come on, man. If you have to tell her, like, if you have to be like, please, listen, please don't cheat. Please don't fuck anybody else. Like, you're cooked, bro. Find a girl that you don't have to think about that. Just find a girl that you know is, you know, solid with you.
Let things go, and I shouldn't have. And then, of course, over the years, those things came up. Somebody that has all these issues, ADHD, all this stuff, they will absolutely forget things, and it's sad because that they will forget amazing things that you've done for them. But by God,
I heard Shamu was thinking about hosting a dating show for Mr. Deadman.
If it's a bad thing, no, they won't forget it. They'll forget the good things, though. My ex, literally, the other day I was just...
I mean, yeah, even if you can't find a trad girl, just find a girl that can, you know, control the opening and closing of her legs. I mean,
I was there, and she was talking to her mother.
He's all and I mean the thing is, that if he gets out of this and he gets into another relationship, like he's all like, I don't think he's gonna hardline the new girl either. I think because again, I think it just comes back to he doesn't want her to leave.
A therapy session for our son, and she said, "Oh, I'm going to go kayaking with blah, 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 such and such, her new boyfriend." And of course, she wouldn't say that to me.
Yeah, please
I
don't
think she
steal
doesn't
from
think
me.
I know as much as I know, but it doesn't matter. And she goes, "Oh, I've never been kayaking before," and I just wanted to say, "Yes, you have, dumbass. We did it like
We're back on this again.
4 or 5 years ago in Mexico." But it doesn't matter. And then she was like, she had told me about a month ago there was a game that I liked, and
He is hitting the same 2 exact points again. These are really sticking in him.
I don't like that game, and I don't. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not sure why you brought that up at all. Well, literally earlier last week, she asked me if I was going to a pre-release for this game. I'll just say what it is. It's Magic the Gathering. It's a card game.
Oh boy.
I'm going to have our
Oh
son.
my God! Are you serious? This all ties back into Magic the Gathering. This is truly Boyd cinema, drama at the Magic the Gathering table. So she didn't want to play with him, but she's playing Magic with the new guy. That's rough.
That week, and they usually start at about 6 and get done at like 11:30 or 12 at night. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take him to that. She goes, "Well, that's okay. I wanted to go to it," and I'm just like, "What the fuck? You just told me I don't like that. I don't like that game, and I don't care about that game." And all these things tell me she's looking for validation from this new guy. She's looking for a yes man. You know what I mean? She needs somebody that's going to tell her to confirm that what she's fucked up is right, is a good thing. I've also seen in her face, and this is something over 20 years you can tell with somebody, she's fake happy. She's acting fake happy in front of me, in front of her mother, in front of our son, and probably in front of other people as well. Our other son could also tell, our older one, and his girlfriend. They could tell that she was being fake happy. So I know she's not. She's probably still in a mental state, and that's fine. I'm at the point where I can't care anymore. But anyway, I want to go back a little bit. During the time, this is something everybody.
He's like, my child approached me and said, "Father, I believe mother is up to no good."
Everybody's going to have to decide whether they can handle all these things that I've said. They're probably not going to do all of them. But I absolutely guarantee you, if they have both BPD and bipolar, they will want to leave at some point. They will cheat. They will steal. They will one of these, at least one of these things. They will go rack up a credit card debt. They will spend money that they ain't got. They might run out and get a dog or 2 dogs or something.
Oh my God! Can you imagine if she came home with like a bunch of dogs? Oh my God!
Home without even talking to you about it. You better be prepared for that, because that is going to happen. And what happened? Okay, this is the biggest thing, and I couldn't really explain this until after I divorced this time. I'm still in the middle of it, but what I had to do over the years is separate those chunks of time and say, okay, she has a mental disorder. I don't want to say ignore. I have to say, okay, this is because of the disease. This chunk of time is part of the disease. Well, this chunk of time is part of this chunk of time is part of the disease. This chunk of time. Well, sometimes that's not worth it to some people. My therapist asked me, she said, "Well, how much?"
Ruby SpaceX stole a dog one time.
That are you willing to?
I don't know. It just seems to me like he doesn't really seem upset about any of the things that she does. So, I mean, I don't know. He just seems like he's kind of his way of thinking, just I can't really comprehend it.
Put up with. And I said, "Well, I wasn't done yet. I wasn't ready to give up yet. You know what I mean? I was still wanting to constantly work on things, and I wasn't ready to give up on her. Um, but there's going to be a lot of chunks of time
Yeah, I mean, if you're open-minded and you give stuff a chance, you can find stuff like this.
where you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to say, well, I have to forgive her because of this. Now that's, you can call me a simp, but it takes a big man or a big woman. This isn't just women that have this happen to them.
It takes a big woman.
I will say that most of the time when now that's,
Hey, Dan.
you can call, well, I have to forgive her because of this. Now that's, you can call me a simp, but it takes a big man or a big woman. This isn't just women that have this happen to them. I will say that most of the time when men have BPD or bipolar, they become violent. A lot of those go to jail. So I will say that. Be very careful, ladies. If you have a husband or a significant other that has BPD and or bipolar, if they act at all irrational physically, be prepared to get the hell out of there. I will say that. That's one thing
I will
I've learned.
say that.
But yeah, these things
Takes
are
a
going
very
to
large
happen.
woman.
You better be prepared for these to happen. You better have decided if you can deal with it.
Takes a huge bitch.
You may or may not. So I just want you guys to know that these things can and will happen. And it's very likely to happen. And like I said, if the BPD, if they flip, it's like split. I said, sorry. If they split, you very well they could be gone in a heartbeat. They could be gone. And there's only so many times you can deal with that. And I told mine, I said, I'm not doing this again. I even told her at the last, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or so, I'm here until you sign the divorce papers. Until you sign those final papers, I'm still willing to work on things. And now, over about a month out, I'm almost like, maybe she's giving me an out. Maybe she's doing it on purpose because she feels like I don't deserve this. Like I don't deserve what she's putting me through. Subconsciously, maybe. Consciously,
What?
maybe she talked about every once in a while about being a burden. People that have these issues will feel like a burden sometimes. We spent between $8,000 and $15,000 or so a year on her medical stuff. So it drained us. That was something that drained me as well. That was a pretty good chunk of my pay when I was the one that was mostly working. It hit hard, and it was, I want to say it snowballed as well, because you don't have money. You can't take that person out. You can't take your significant other out to these nice things, plays and things like that. I tried my best.
We couldn't go to any plays.
I would try to find good ones.
She's like, listen, I was in love with him, but he never took me to any plays, so I had to start hooking up with random guys.
We'd go see plays, Young Frankenstein, fun stuff, like whenever we could, comedy shows. Whenever I could, I tried to take her to do fun things, but it was never enough. There's always going to be something with these two main conditions. The grass is always greener.
Methadone-coated, never enough attention.
The grass is always greener. You may have
never
heard
enough validation.
The 80-20 rule or the 90-10 rule. 80-20. And I think this applies to everybody, but mostly I've heard it with women because mostly it's women who divorce. About 70% of the divorces are initiated by women.
Hamilton.
They are 80% happy with their
maybe not in Richmond,
their significant other, but some part of their brain thinks that they can go out and find that other 20% and literally have a 100% compatible, perfect person out there in the world. And it's just not possible. They may find somebody else that's an 80-20 that might shift. Okay, this 20 is now here. You know what I mean? They're not going to find 100%. It's not possible. Healthy relationships have differences, and they work through those differences. They work with each other. So
right, but not every difference can be worked out. Like if I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand the way he approached the whole situation.
But yeah, this is. I'm going to come to the end of this video. It's getting pretty long here. There may be a lot more questions on this. I'm happy to answer anybody's questions. Like I said,
Table slab building.
I've done this for almost 20 years now. I've lived with this person for a very long
Children flock to him at the so-called water park.
time, and I can answer a lot of questions for things in the list of treatments that we've gone through, what worked, what didn't work, what they are likely to do. Leave questions.
This guy and McHenry on the same day.
In the comments, if you want me to do a video on something specific, on a specific treatment, on a specific diagnosis, I will absolutely do that. I'm going to do some more videos. Honestly, I was going to do a lot more on bipolar and BPD specifics, but I will leave those alone because this one was hard enough for me to do. I'm going to try to stop doing videos about my ex. I'm going to stop trying to give excuses. I realized that, like I said earlier, the boxes, she did have an excuse, but it's
box.
They still did, you know, when somebody does these things, they're still doing it to you, and it doesn't make it feel better. Not always. It does. It allows you to have a little more, give them a little more leeway, but it will not make you feel better that they cheated on you, that you were felt to be not good enough for any amount of time, and that's not fair. And some people will be okay with it, and a lot of people will not be. And you do not have to feel bad if you leave somebody that has one of these conditions, if they do something that is terrible to you. So, like I said, the boxes, you may be able to deal with, you know, a week, a month of terrible times that you can, not terrible, but it could be depression, it could be mania. You might be able to deal with a week, a month of that. You may go months at a time where depression is a big thing.
I did it for the plays.
But never feel bad if you end up.
Do you think he ever finger blasted her at the playhouse?
For your own mental health, if you have to leave this person, and that sucks to hear, and it sucks to talk about. But like I said, I'm not going to do more videos on this. I will answer questions if people want me to answer questions.
I feel like every video he makes is about this.
I'll do it in video if I want. I will make a video on whatever people want to make a video on, want me to make a video on. But I'm not going to do specifics on those 2 conditions or 3 conditions. So I will leave it at that, and hopefully some people might get some insight out of this. If you want to like and subscribe, maybe someday I'll make some money off of this channel. Hopefully it will end up being what a lot of people are suggesting, and that is how I'm coping, how I'm doing well with my life after this. So have a good one, everybody. Be happy. Make your own mental health a priority. If you're divorcing, I'm sorry for that. It sucks. But have a good day.
Wow. I think the next video might be too long to... we might be able to fit this in. Bad things to remember from your old relationship.
Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, if you're a subscriber, thanks. If you would like to hear more, subscribe, like the videos, and I'll keep doing them as long as...
What is that thing called? Neon Cat in the background?
I feel like it's helping. Today I'm going to talk about...
What, did he put subtitles on this? Yeah, he subtitled it.
A way to cope with divorce and... or any relationship, any relationship where you've experienced a lot of loss, where you can't stop thinking about that person.
No, it's still there. It's over to the side.
Whatever reason, you know, it is. But this video is based on bad things, reminders and thoughts of reasons that your separation or divorce is probably for the best. Okay, now I'm just going to go through a list. Some of them are larger than others, but here we go. Number 1, holding it in. I was unable to voice my concerns and emotions due to my ex having so many triggers. You haven't watched my channel before. My ex had bipolar 2, borderline personality disorder,
ADHD, PTSD, hyperactivity.
ADHD, else, mania, depression,
His eyelashes all look like they're curled again.
PTSD. So a lot. And she did have psychosis at certain points during our marriage.
Wow.
She would hear things and see things that weren't there. So, and it's been about 15 years. So she had a lot of triggers, and I really felt like I couldn't do a lot of things or say a lot of things. I constantly had to walk on eggshells, and that's a book, and I'll go over it at some point in one of my other videos. But
She slept with other people, yeah.
It makes it really hard to live a life. You're constantly kind of low-key stressed, that you can't do anything, or you're afraid you're going to do something wrong that's going to trigger them and literally set them off and possibly get angry or depressed and possibly suicidal. And that's a rough life to live. So you need to be prepared for that if you're with somebody that has those issues. Number 2, turning off her love. That's a rough one, and that's definitely something that I don't think most people can do. I don't necessarily think it's something that normal people do. Sorry, I don't want to say normal. Non-neurodivergent. I don't know. I don't know the terms, but people that that don't have all these issues. But with my ex, it always felt like she could get mad at me and just be like gone, like non-existent in a relationship. And it's like, it blows my mind that you could be with somebody for 15 years and get upset because they made a joke that you didn't care for or something, and you could just be like, nope, don't
Telling
wanna
edgy
talk to you,
jokes.
don't want to be around you, don't want a hug from you, don't want nothing from you. And it's not just that. I get it, people get upset and they're like, leave me alone for a minute, but this could go on for days, and that's rough. And I don't feel like I deserve that. So the next thing on my list, physical intimacy initiation. It was almost always one way, unless my ex was manic, which has its own problems. It was great when she was manic. It was great, that part of it, and it made me feel great about myself. The problem is over years I wasn't understanding that that's not the real her. That is a wild, far end representation of this person, and it's not a person that I'm going to have often.
A long hug.
And it comes with its own problems as well when somebody's manic. But when I wasn't feeling wanted, I was sad and disheartened, and just felt like I wasn't loved, because that was kind of one of my love languages is touch and being needed, being wanted.
My love language. South to west.
So I'm gonna bring this up a little to help with some sound. Anyway, she would always tell me that I needed to get her in the mood, or I needed to get her worked up, or I needed to.
Okay, what's wrong with any of this? This sounds to me like pretty, especially like women aren't always direct communicators. This seems pretty direct. She wants foreplay.
Do this, or I needed to do that. And it kind of, after thinking about it, it kind of made me uncomfortable. It made me feel like like she was telling me I had to coerce her, into wanting intimacy, and that kind of made me uncomfortable and kind of felt like I was kind of being rapey, and that's not.
What?
Maybe that's a me problem.
She said she wanted her pussy ate, and he said that made her feel like a rapist.
I don't know, but it kind of made me feel uncomfortable and not fair. That was one of my, like I said, one of my love languages. I felt like I needed to be. I mean, I didn't need to be coerced. I'm a physical person. I would honestly have had sex with my wife 3 times a day, every day, anytime I could. Would have. I have no problem with that. I would do my utmost best. I would never get tired of it. I loved her. I loved her body, no matter what it looked like. Up, down, left, right. Didn't matter. I did whatever. Which is weird to say. We're getting divorced. Anyway, so that made me uncomfortable. I didn't like having to sort of coerce her into that.
What?
And I know some women might say, well, it's not really coercing. You just got to warm me up, Well, I did that. I tried to started things earlier in the day, but with somebody that has all these issues, it doesn't stick. You know what I mean? Like I could start something earlier in the day, and I could get home and I'd be like come up nuzzle behind her or something, and she'd be like, "What are you doing?" Like she totally forgot that that I tried to start something earlier in the day. I could do one thing one day and she would love it. I would do it the next day and she would
Up,
hate
down, left, right.
it. It's a no-win situation. Okay, so the next thing on my list, I tried to help her. This is over a long period, over the years, to try to find something she enjoyed, hobbies. Um, didn't matter if it was a movie or something like that, but I should have known this. I got with her too early in her life. She didn't have any hobbies really. She would jump on something for a little while. She did knitting for a little while, sewing for a little while. And I know some women feel like, well, that's a chore. I don't want to do that. That's fine. That's fine. But I tried to get her to do anything I could possibly get her to do, just to get something moving. You know what I mean? I wanted to be able to have her own life. I needed her to be okay with herself so that I didn't feel like I was in charge of her. I didn't want to do that. And I tried my best to do that myself. I have tons of hobbies. I have games back here, um, Magic, Dungeons and Dragons. I do woodworking, gardening. I'll try about anything. I'm an art person. I'm a analytical person. I like doing videos, things like that.
She liked Magic the Gathering, but not with him, only with the other guy.
So it seemed like she could never lock on to something until she would lock on to watching internet videos, and that's a problem that I'll talk about later.
Uh-oh, internet videos.
Okay, next thing.
Three
Over the
DP
years,
videos.
it was better at other times than others, but we used almost all of our extra disposable income on treating her medical condition, and sometimes other family members, but a lot of times hers was pretty standard stuff between therapy and if she had gone to the hospital that year. If anybody knows anything, a week hospital stay could run anywhere between $6,000 and $20,000. Well, that was 10 to 20% of our income for the year. So no vacations this year, guys. Sorry, kids. Sorry, me. Um, there's lots of things that come along with that, but it was rough and it put a lot of pressure on me. Um, and it felt like she still acted like I was holding her back.
What are these things all over the wall? Can you guys see those? What are these things? See them? They're like everywhere.
Not letting her spend money when I was trying to save a little bit for retirement and things like that. And because she didn't work most of the time, because she couldn't, she would lose her job. She would break down, and she didn't lose it. Most of the time she felt that she had to quit just to not kill herself, which is, that's a trip too. And we did that lots of times over the years. And sometimes she did try to kill herself once or twice and went to the hospital, I want to say 4 or 5 times, which is not terrible over 15 years, but over the last year and a half, she tried to commit suicide once and then hospitalized twice. Was out of her job for about 6 weeks just earlier this year. A couple of months before she's changed her medication, changed both of her psychiatrist and her therapist. And then a couple weeks after that, they changed her medication. And then a couple weeks after that, she told me she wanted a divorce. Yeah, so read into that what you will. The next thing on my list, her not being able to focus on me during sexual intimacy was really terrible for me. And this is a sign, a lot of times it's ADHD, but it's also in combination with things like depression or anxiety. We could be in the middle of something, doing wild stuff for us, wild stuff. And she would just be like, and I'm just like, okay, what's up? Immediately I'm like, what, am I doing something wrong, or is this something else? Because obviously if I just need to go to the left a little or something, I can do that. That's not a problem. But she would just be like, well, no, I just thought of something in my head and now I'm upset in the middle of sex or relations, and that's rough. I mean,
Relations.
what do I do with that, and you deal with it, and I put it into my little boxes, like I talked about before. I separate that into, okay, I need to forgive for this, or because it's part of her condition. It's like, you know what I mean? You don't shit on somebody who's got cancer. You don't do that. It's not their fault, But at a certain point, this stuff hurts regardless. You know what I mean? It's rough, and I feel for anybody else who's dealing with something like that. It's very hard to continue down the road where you're not feeling loved. So next thing on my list. All right. I feel like she did things that she didn't want to just so that I would be happy. And this is not a problem. Everybody does this. I get it. I did it a lot. I did it a lot. But knowing that made me feel worse, not happy. And part of that is the intimate stuff. She would start an intimate thing because I had talked about it, wanted to do it earlier, and I could tell immediately she wasn't into it. And that made me sad. And I tried to explain to her, I want you to want to do
Listen, can we up the enthusiasm on the role play?
these things with me. I'm not telling you I need you to do this because it's a transaction. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what, if somebody's got these issues like bipolar and BPD, it's like that they can see a lot of things, sadly, in a relationship, even a long-term 15, 20-year relationship, as a transaction. And that, when you start to realize that, and I'm hoping some of you guys or girls that hear this will hear this.
By the way, look at this. 3 views. Talk about fresh out the patch.
And understand that this is going to
Freshly
happen.
picked.
It's a transactional relationship sometimes. Not all the time. Everybody's different. People are different. But be prepared for that. And if you're not okay with that, you need to make sure that you either sadly get out of that relationship or work with that person to understand. Next thing, she wouldn't tell me what she wanted. Whether that be in physical intimacy or just simple, tell me what she wanted. Stan. Next thing, she wouldn't tell me what she wanted. Whether that be in physical intimacy or just simple things like what she wanted to understand. Sadly, get out of the relationship or work with that person to understand. Next thing, she wouldn't tell me what she wanted. Whether that be in physical intimacy or just simple things like dinner or like I found some of her notes that she had written during therapy and stuff that said stuff that she didn't like, and it's like, never told me that you didn't like it. Just tell me and I'll not do.
No, I don't think so. I think he filed the paperwork, and all of this takes, the entire run I think is under a year. I think it's like 11 total months of content, but I think he had just recently filed, and I think that's as far as we've gotten.
Do it. It was silly stuff. Little picky, little, tiny stuff that wasn't a big deal. But if it's like, oh, if you don't like that, just say it. It's okay. I'm not gonna fight about something silly like, I don't know, doing a hand sign or something that you don't like, for whatever reason. It doesn't matter.
What does that mean?
But it was weird. And I couldn't get much out of her on future plans, and that goes to this next one on my list. She told me multiple times when I was talking about retirement in about 20 years, she says, honey, I don't plan on being around in 20 years. And I'm just like, that blows my fucking mind. What am I supposed to say to that? I mean, honestly, what do you say when somebody thinks I'll probably have killed myself by then? Fuck off, right? Like, what, you fucking don't matter, or I'm just not gonna, at some point I'm not gonna make it. And I had to explain to my freaking kids that your mom is probably gonna commit suicide at some point.
What?
And you have to be prepared for that.
What
That's
in the what?
fucked up. How do you probably gonna kill, or I'm just myself by then? Fuck off, right? Like, what, you fucking don't matter, or I'm just not gonna, at some point I'm not gonna make it. And I had to explain to my freaking kids that your mom is probably going to commit suicide at some point, and we have to be prepared for that. That's fucked up. How do you explain that to your kids? I explained it to the 20-year-old. I have not explained it to my youngest one, and he's going to have to figure it out. But he's getting old enough and smart
He's
enough.
gonna
that
have to
gonna
figure it
soon.
out.
And it's messed up. And then on top of that,
Whoa, buddy.
she was basically leaving me to sit there and wait until she did it. Like, how do I plan for that? Do I refuse to plan for that? How do I handle that? You know, I don't know. So then I bring it up in therapy a few months back. This is a couple of months before she left. I said, I need to know that if you continue to keep trying to kill yourself, that we're going to have to talk about the future, about us in the future. And the therapist, and she started crying. My ex started crying immediately. And the therapist says, now, X, hold on. I know what you heard was when stuff gets hard, he's going to leave me. That's not what he meant. And I'm going to explain to you what he meant. And I'm just sitting here going, And she said, what?
You shouldn't feel terrible. He just wants to be heard, like, you know, is how I take him. And I mean, we're hearing him out. We're giving him a fair shake here. So I think if you're prone to laugh about it, I mean, I don't think you should feel bad.
Dave needs to know is that you are handling your support structure, your therapy, your medications, all that stuff, so that this doesn't continue to happen.
He should have just been okay with the fact that sometimes partners do things for each other that they're not particularly interested in doing, but they want to please their partner, and just he's like, oh yeah, you're willing to do this for me, but you know, you don't have a good enough attitude while you're doing it. Like, give me a break, bro.
Because it's a lot of stress on somebody. If anybody's ever been in that situation, to have somebody that you think is fine one day and then could literally write you a note the next day that says, I can't do this anymore, I'm out. It's rough, So
Next thing on my list.
Okay. She put me in charge of her emotions. And this is something I didn't realize till afterwards. It's almost like an emotional blackmail situation. She would basically put things on me, her bad emotions on. It was my fault. Or not my fault necessarily, but it was like I should be able to help her with them.
That's kind of true. He's brought that up multiple times now, the idea that she would inform him, like, you need to stop me, you need to rein me in. And it's like, how do you rein in a manic person?
And these are things that with somebody with BPD and bipolar stuff, it's like you can't fix it, and that's what I wanted to say to her when she left this time. It's like, it's not me that's stopping you from being happy. It's you from stopping you from being happy.
He shouted that as he was
acting
being
like she's happy now.
escorted off the property.
I've seen her recently in the last month. They know she's acting fake happy. She's doing things that she hadn't done before because she always told me she didn't want to do those things. Now she's with some new guy immediately, and she's doing things that I know she doesn't want to do. I've been with her for 20 years. I know she doesn't want to do those things. She needs attention. She needs validation. So it is what it is. But leaving me is not going to cure the situation.
Yes, it is.
She'll be happy for a while.
Yes, it literally is. She told you, like, openly multiple times that she wanted words of affirmation. She wanted to be told she was pretty and attractive and all that stuff. And this guy didn't want to do it. He said it was too emotional coercion or whatever. So yes, there's nothing wrong with wanting attention and validation. You could take it too far, but to say that, oh, she's not going to get her problem solved with another man. Yeah, she is. That guy's going to pay attention to her and is going to validate her. Now, he could be right that it might not last forever, but it didn't last forever with him either. So, I mean, and plus he'll just take her back when that crashes and they'll get married for a third time.
She'll fake happiness. She may be happy for a while. The problem is, at this point, as I go through this list, and
he's 46. He's either 46 or 47. I don't know exactly. No, it would have to be 46 unless he's had a birthday, and I think he would have brought that up.
Remind myself of this list. It's more and more likely that I wouldn't take her back anyway.
Come on.
If you can jump on somebody, if you can do the monkey branching thing, monkey climbing, monkey branching, whatever. Anyway, the next thing on my list, it's my fault that I accepted her and all her flaws. And I know that's something you're supposed to do in love, but let me keep going here. As someone who would always be there for her and take care, would always be there for me and take care of me, I should have realized that she didn't have the capabilities to do that. And sometimes you don't know that for years. But I will
Suck more
implore you people
enthusiastically.
that find out that your significant other
Oh my
has
God.
these conditions, or any one of them, or two of them, or my situation is pretty powerful because there's a lot of them. But you better figure it out real early, because the longer you go, the harder it's going to be to walk away. If you have to.
Maybe she wasn't pegging him enthusiastically enough.
And chances are they will walk away. I said that in one of my other videos recently, about the bipolar and BPD, especially with BPD. They'll it's like a walk away syndrome, I think, or something. Runaway wife syndrome, something like that. Anyway,
Runaway wife syndrome?
next thing on my list, nothing will ever balance the scales of what I put into our relationship over the years and what she was able to put into the relationship. Some of it by choice, some of it not by choice on her part. She may never even understand everything that I did and everything that I gave up, because I did things that I never even told her about. Why? Because I didn't do it for accolades. I didn't do it to gain something from it. I did it because I loved my wife.
Accolades?
I didn't need to be, you know what I mean? I didn't cheat. I didn't do anything that was bad at all. I never raised a hand, nothing like that. So there's nothing that I can do to ever make that even. And it's not going to...
No, if he tries to out crazy her, then he's going to end up never getting to see his kids. Because if he starts acting nuts, she'll just dial everything way down and he'll look like a lunatic. And some judges might look at these videos and say that. But like, I feel like if he tries to out crazy her, it's just going to end up hurting him when they go to court.
matter what happens from now on out, because it's never ever going to be the same, and it's not possible for it to be the same. I'm not just tooting my own horn here. There's just a lot that happened, and I'm not going to go into every bit of it. I may go over some little bits here and there in videos over time, but eventually I'm going to get this channel to go to stuff that I'm doing for myself and not about my ex.
Remember, he said last video he wasn't going to do any more about his ex for a while.
You know, but right now I'm still in the coping mechanism stage, so I'm doing these kind of therapeutic things online for everybody. Next thing, I attached my value to the idea that I was helping and supporting her. This kind of goes to the last one again. I actually have a lot of value in myself. I felt like I was a good guy because I was sticking around. You know what I mean? And that kind of made me feel good about myself. But that doesn't make them feel
wow, that makes you feel good about yourself?
different about you.
Bro.
So I'm now on my own, finding that value in myself again. I've lost, I don't know, like 35 pounds. I'm feeling better about myself. I'm doing things that I hadn't done before, going out on my own and feeling okay.
So he's doing stuff he had never done before, and that's healthy. She's doing things she's never done before, and that's obvious sign of fake happiness. Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Realizing that I don't have to fear being alone, you know. Okay, the next thing on the list. This is a big one, and a lot of people, it's a 100% shut them down. Infidelity. Doing something like that.
It always comes back to this.
Head is just, it should be unforgivable. And then if they come back to you and blame you for them, well, you did this to me, so I felt like I needed to do that. No. If they're willing to do that to you, they're always willing to do that to you. I dealt with it, I think, that I know of at least 3 times. And I don't mean 3 single times. I mean 3 affairs that happened. Possibly another one on this last one. I don't know. Because, like I said, she started moving in with this guy literally a couple of days after she told me she was divorced, which, if anybody knows anything, there's something going on. Sorry, it's getting a little darker in here. My lights are dying. They're battery powered, but that's okay. It's just a little dark. Anyway, yeah, infidelity. That you can only allow for the mental issues so many times.
He's like, now don't be fooled. That's not 3 individual sessions. Those are 3 long-term scenarios.
Times before it doesn't matter. They're still there, you know.
Maybe he is. I don't know. Don't you kind of have to be okay with it on some level to keep taking somebody back who continually cheats? Maybe he should just embrace it and they should like open an OF.
You know, she went out when we were divorced the first time, got pregnant, and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, the next thing, digital reality. In the last few years, she started immersing herself in online videos. This is a huge problem recently. I've been listening to people online talking about it. They watch these internet videos of people talking about their opinions or these fake relationships that they see online about life and marriage and what kind of parties are out there, you know, what things are possible. Well, that's barely possible, you know. That doesn't mean that those people don't go home and have a shit life in real life. So, but she was putting these fake things onto me, these fake, like it was responsible for me to provide these things that weren't possible. I even heard through the grapevine that she had talked to her therapist, and her therapist said that she...
Through the grapevine?
Well, it sounds like you're sabotaging your marriage. And apparently her answer was just, yeah. Which is pretty fucked up. I'll leave that at that. There's no perfect life. Look up the 80-20 rule or the 90-10 rule. If you can get somebody that you're 80% happy with...
Here we go. We're back to this again.
That's amazing. In this world, that is amazing. Stick with them. Stick with a person like that, unless they do something terrible to you. All right, here's my last thing, and then I'll stop this video. It's already long. For nearly 20 years, with zero reasoning, zero good, solid reasoning whatsoever, there may be one, but it's not a real reason. It's an in her head reason. That she still couldn't feel like I was there for her, like I would always be there. I never left her. I never cheated on her. I never even looked at other women. Every time I talked about being around other women, I had to...
I don't think he could. I mean, he kind of admitted that earlier by saying it was never even an option, and I think he meant that literally as well.
Quantify it with, well, she's chubby, or she's crazy, or she's, you know what I mean? I had to make my ex feel that it was okay that I was around this other person. And I don't mean like hanging out with them at a bar or something. I mean like somebody I worked with or something, like just acquaintances. She could never feel safe with me, and that was tough. It took her years and years to tell me things that she wanted to do in the bedroom that might have been a little risque. And that was wild that she was bringing up new stuff. 15 years into our relationship. What?
She's been immersing herself in online videos and seen some shit.
It was wild that she was bringing up new stuff. 15 years into our relationship. What? And it was cool. There was some cool stuff. We had a lot of fun. But when it could go fun to suicide the next day, it's like...
Bro, buy the ticket, take the ride, man.
Wow, how? We just had an amazing last week. You know, we had sex 5-6 times last week.
He's admitting that all he's doing is coping and saying that he's addicted to the manic version of his wife. Like that if that could be her all the time, then this would be the best marriage ever. But she eventually mania eventually subsides, normally not smoothly. And then so he's like addicted to this one part of her, but that's like seems like the only part of her that he likes. And he's even admitted earlier, I think either in this video or the one before, that the version of her when she's manic isn't the real her. Which is debatable, but whatever.
This week, we did stuff we'd never done before. We went out on a couple of dates last week. We laughed. And then the next 2 days later, it's, I don't want to live anymore. Wow. And I don't know what to say about that, you know. But like I said, she always felt like I was going to leave her. And I never did. She was the one that always did it. And that's a problem with bipolar and BPD. So be prepared for that. It is very light. Watch one of my shorter videos. Well, not shorter, but my last long video was about that. And I explain a lot of that. So
that's very McHenry code, and he does that a lot where he's like, Watch one of my shorter videos. Oh, no, not really shorter videos, long videos, actually.
There's absolutely nothing that you can do to stop those situations. They will 100% feel like you are going to leave them. That is the number one symptom and the number one
Yeah,
trait.
because she's out there cheating on you, bro, and stealing your money. It's not deep. She went out and partied. The mania subsided. Now she wants to come back to her normal life. But of course she's gonna think you're mad and gonna maybe leave because she's been fucking around and spending all your money.
Of borderline personality disorder, so you better be prepared for that. Anyway, this has gotten long. Most people aren't going to watch this long. If you want to hear more about this, if you want to list some of the things that happened to you, some of the things in your marriage or previous marriage that you feel like things that happened that you should have known, things that you should have, that you've listed after the fact. And if you haven't done that and you're in the middle of a divorce or even year after, if you're still feeling things, list these reasons out, because it helps me every time I look through them, and it sucks. And sometimes I'll find new ones, but it helps. It's therapy. It reminds you that you weren't 100% happy in that relationship, and there was stuff that was damaging you mentally. This stuff
Pray
was
for
draining
Dave.
me
Well, he
mentally.
doesn't believe
a
in
lot
it.
of it was, and like I said, there's probably going to be more on the list after I get to it. So I'm going to end this video now. Appreciate everybody listening. Hope we get more subscribers to this. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to start doing more of the short ones, because that seems to be what people
views.
like to watch. I'll try to focus better on them.
Criminal 3 views on this. This thing it's a really good video.
Maybe some of the stuff in this list and things. So everybody have a good day. Things are going to get better. It could take months or years, but things will get better. You do you.
You do you. What's up, Ananje? We're just ending, but this guy's going through a divorce. He married a girl when he was 27 and she was 19. She cheated on him and stole his money and used it to fund like these crazy bowl weekends. And then she'd come home and he'd accept her back in, and then eventually they got divorced over it. Then they were apart for a while and she got pregnant while they were apart. And then she got an abortion so she could get back together with this guy. Then they got remarried, and now she's leaving him for another guy after 3 long affairs prior to that. But that's the long and short of it. Oh my gosh. Well, this has been incredible. I mean, I don't think there's been any downtime in this run so far. So we definitely have to revisit my journey through life and divorce with Dave. But yeah, wow. I mean, so much information, incredibly personal oversharing, some great psychologizing. But I'm going to go. I'll be back tomorrow in the morning for XPW, and then Boit Madness in the afternoon, Vegan Patriot versus the Heathen, and Vinny Slugga versus Ruby Spacek. But thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon.